What is up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the after party of Scream 6. Yes, I have seen the movie. I actually just got out of it. It kind of lasted a little bit longer than I anticipated. It's a lot of trailers at the AMC theaters. So yeah. Um, Also got done doing a straight out of the theater reaction. Haven't really put up my initial review. That will be coming up after this. I have to finish editing it and everything. So yeah, there's only so much time in the night, but y'all are gonna be able to know my first thoughts, and we're gonna talk all things Scream tonight. I thought about waiting to do the spoiler Scream talk tomorrow night. But this movie, so many people's already seen this movie, and a lot of us that are highly anticipating it. Uh, I can't wait anymore. I can't. I want to talk about this movie more than what we have. We've been speculating for for months or a year since Scream 5 came out. Just whenever we hear that Scream 6 was greenlit, we were just like all speculating. So you know what? I'm tired of it. And also, I got to make one statement real quick. Uh to the troll or trolls that spoiled this movie for me, eat a fucking dick. That's what I want to say. Pardon my French to the ladies in the chat or anybody that's offended by that language, but you are a special kind of asshole. There's a special place in hell for you. Like, seriously, so, at least I'm putting spoilers on my thumbnail. So y'all know what you're getting into here, it's just some baby back bullshit with some cheese on it. It's just, I want to go off. Like, I'm holding it in. I know I'm smiling, but that's how I deal with anger. I smile about it. I got to find some humor in it some way, somehow, because I'm pretty upset about it more now than I was when I was initially spoiled. But it is what it is. We're here now. Um, I want to talk to all of you about this. I hope whoever is in the chat has seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, just know, fair warning, we're gonna be talking about spoilers here tonight. All right. So let's get the mood going. Y'all want some music? Y'all want a little bit of silence? Let me know if there's any like crackling in the audio. There's some in my earpieces here. I don't know if y'all can hear it on your end or maybe it's just on my end. I don't know. My PC's been acting a little funny lately, so it could just be me. All right. People have been messaging me left and right, letting me know that they just left the theater. And I've spoken to some of y'all, but I haven't been able to get back to everybody because I've been trying to make some content before we have this tonight. And so yeah, where do I even begin with this movie? First off, if you have seen the movie, I want to know what you think real quick. I want to know what you think. Just give me your overall opinion and thoughts, because we're going to talk about some spoilers. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, and everything in between. And we're probably going to be talking about this movie all weekend, right? More live streams to come and more videos to come. I mean, Scream 7 is greenlit now, so yeah. What's next? So let's see who's all in the house right now. We're gonna hit up the chat. Let's see here. Cam TV's in the house. I've been patiently waiting to talk this with you, Destin. Oh yeah, Cam. Hell yeah. Well, tonight is the night, man. Tonight is the night. We are letting it all out. We are letting it all out. I hope you were able to see the movie. And yeah. I mean, this movie is like the critic rating and everything is pretty high compared to some of the other entries. So yeah, I have some thoughts. I'm gonna keep y'all simmering just for a little bit. I'm still processing it too, you know. I'm still like sitting over here. Like, I feel like I need to see it again. And also, I should have mentioned, I saw it in 3D. I saw it in 3D, okay? And I'm gonna sit here and say right now, there is no real reason to see this movie in 3D. Okay? I think that was just some a little bit of a cash grab, a little bit. There were a few moments with 3D that you could like really tell, you know, like the shotgun being pointed at the screen, like that popped. There were some things popped. What really like popped the most was the end credits. Just seeing all the like dust particles and stuff like that, and all the pictures of everybody, how they do that traditional Scream stuff. That was like the most 3D I saw of the movie. I was like, wow, we watched this in 3D to see the credits. Oh, we're gonna talk about that after credit scene as well. So yeah, we're gonna acknowledge everything tonight. I don't know how late we're gonna go. We'll go as late as you want. Not too late. Let me take that back, because we can go pretty late. I've done almost a 12-hour live stream one time. Let's see here. Cam says, Lord, the brutality. Yeah, you got some Carnage candy up in there. It's pretty brutal. Cam also says, this movie made me become even more of a Ghostface fan. Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely like an amusement park feel, you know, like you feel like you just got off a ride. Like it's that constant like roller coaster feel, you know. It's fun. It's theme park fun. That's the way I look at it a little bit. Let's see here. I will be buying all the movies. Yeah, I bought like every physical like copy of the films over the years. Also, I got some souvenirs. I'm gonna go ahead and show them right now. Get this out the way. Blucka doo doo, baby. Denisha's in the house. Hey everyone, what's up, Denisha? Welcome. Hashtag Digital Bounce is in the house. So tonight, you don't have to bounce anybody if there's any spoilers, because that's the point of this stream. But I'm gonna show you that like the AMC theater I went to had Scream cups, similar to, not that they're not like Cinemarks, you know, like where they're like Ghostface, which I ordered those. I was able, I think they got like restocked. Cinemark did, so I bought like all the stuff that came with that. So like the popcorn bucket, the 2 cups, and the plushie. But AMC had some too. They didn't have any popcorn buckets, not that I saw at my theater. I asked, they didn't know what I was talking about, but they did have 3 different versions of the Scream cups, and I'm gonna show that here right now. Here's one right here. It's lenticular. You can see that. Got a little scratchiness there. Show you the back. Got a little Ghostface right there, just popping in and out. Pretty cool, pretty sick, right? And you see the figurine, the Ghostface figurine right here. Just show that real quick. Pretty cool. And he's got like, and the other 2 cups that I got all 3 versions. So the other 2 cups have different poses of Ghostface. So I'm gonna show that real quick. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Pretty damn cool. So yeah, I think these were like $12 a piece. Same thing. There's no different imaging on this. It's just some more. The only thing that's different is the figurines, but this one's a different pose. You can see that. It's pretty cool. Let me know which one you like the most. The first one, the second one here. I got one more. Like I said, it's just same exact cover. It would have been cool to get a different image, right? Like with all the three different ghost faces on top. It would have been cool to like get some type of different image. But here's the other one. So yeah, this one's almost similar to this one, but they're different. It's just kind of, he's standing up more straight in this one, and he's kind of like walking and hunched over a little bit in this one. Really neat. Really, really neat. I liked them. I said, hey, why not? Let's splurge a little, right? Actually, you know what? I'll leave them over here. Leave them in the shot. Sorry about that. So yeah. Did your theater? Let me know if any of the theaters that you went to had some really cool stuff. All right, back to the chat. Zim says, dude, I already know, man. I already know. Vampire's Coffin says, okay, let's go. That sounded scary. He's in the house. Hey, fam, what's up, brother? What's up, man? What'd you think about the movie, man? I already have an idea of how you feel, but yeah. Oh, let's see. Zim just finished. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That sounded scary. Says I need to talk about it. Well, talk away, because right now is a safe place to talk about spoilers. Spin King Entertainment Destins, what's up, brother? What's up, dude? Man, my night's going pretty good. I'm a little tired. I haven't really got much good sleep this week. It's been a pretty busy week at work, and it's also just doing so. I've been staying up pretty late doing some of these live streams for the past week, and I think I just need some solid sleep. Maybe I'll get it this weekend. I was planning on going out of town this weekend, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So maybe I can just sleep in. That'd be great. I hope you were able to see the movie, man. I hope you liked it. Eat it hard. Baby back bullshit, yeah. So the spoil was accurate. I heard a few different things about the spoilers and stuff like that. But yeah, the one that I thought that was legit, that spoiled me, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. KMTV says Scream 6 is my favorite Scream. I'm sorry, I love it more than any other. Oh, wow, that's a big statement. That's a big statement, Cam. I'll have a drink to that. Yeah, okay. I hear that from a lot of people. If it's not, some people are saying this is their favorite one. And then some people are saying this is their favorite one after the original. So yeah, super cool. Zazim, I need to watch it 3 more times. You know what? I think I'm going to go back and watch it in 2D. I think I'm going to go watch it without the 3D. I felt like it was not I'm not trying to some 3D movies I do like to watch, but I just don't feel like this movie was a 3D film. I don't even think it was shot in 3D. I think it was post-production put into 3D. So yeah. I'm definitely going to watch it again. Probably go watch it again this weekend. I need to. I'm still processing it. Spin King. Oh, what's up, Caleb? Yeah, man. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I know who you are. Poifer's in the house. Let's go. The stream is going to be good. Yes, it is. Welcome to the stream. Vampire's Coffin says, do the cons first. Wow. Okay. So we got some requests up in here. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to get to it. Trying to get through, catch up on the chat just a little bit. But okay. If that's what y'all want, put it down in the chat. You want the cons first or you want the pros first? Let me know down below. 9.5 out of 10. Okay. Yeah. I think it passed part 1. That's a really bold statement. Sam's a badass. That she is. That's one thing I will say about Melissa Barrera in this one, is that she shines. She's way better in this one than she was in 5. I'll give that to the character. Sam is really cool in this one. I really just kind of like, it feels so, like the setting just makes it feel so different, you know? Um, Even though that they're in college and they're kind of mirroring Scream 2 just a little bit in some areas, it's still like, it still just feels a little different. Just the way the film is structured from beginning to end, especially like that first half. I'm just kind of like, wow, like, okay, they weren't kidding whenever they said that like the first half of this movie is almost like from the same night as the opening kill. I thought that was kind of wild of the way they did that opening. So yeah, it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was amazing either. It was just different, and I liked it. I did like it, and I really like our core four. I mean, I thought that was really cool. This one definitely makes you care for the characters more than in Scream 5. Big standout, Chad. Chad is really good in this film. He is actually pretty badass. He steals every scene that he's in. And he's kind of like the big brother, the protector of the group a little bit. But he's also like the heart, you know? Like Dewey was the heart in the other films. But Chad doesn't have that like goofy. I mean, he can be funny, but he's not like silly, like clumsy or nothing like that. He pulls it off. He pulls it off. Really, really, really good. Blucka says, since we all thought Laura was the opening and the latter sequence all but showed Anika, the trailer basically showed every death, not a ghost face. 3 bodega, bathtub, Gail's boyfriend. Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of the death. Well, I mean, there was other bystanders and stuff like that, and other kills, but yeah, I knew when like a death was actually coming. And this does it feels different. Ghostface, I have to say, this Ghostface, we're just talking about the person behind the Ghostface costume, was really cool, really fast, really intense, really obviously violent, but like he was just very aggressive, and I liked it. It was just like he was just like chasing and running and going, like I liked it a lot. I liked how he could take out somebody, like 3 people back to back. Like he didn't care. He had his stealth moments and took out people, and had some really creative kills on some things. A lot of stabs. But it's just cool that he had like no fear. Ghostface almost didn't even care about getting his victims alone. That's what was different about this Ghostface. He didn't even really care about getting his victims like alone and isolated. He'd just walk into a room and just start slicing people, Really cool. And the opening scene was so creative and so cool. At first I was like, where are they going with this? Ooh, this could be good or this could be bad. But it turned out good. It turned out really good, actually. And it just opens up this world of Scream a little bit more, where we talk about this cult of Ghostface a little bit. Like it's more possible now than it ever was before. Because of that opening scene, just starting things off, it's just like, oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Like where could they go in 7 with this? Like it was just, it was really, really unique. And like Samara Weaving, we all speculated for months, was she the opening? We were hoping that she would, live a little, but everything that we got, it was kind of like we were kind of piecing it together. I was like, it looks like she's the opening. And it was really cool the way it was structured, She was a professor at Blackmore University. And they kind of, and it was cool how they introduced her character and got to know her just a little bit before Ghostface takes her out. Well, was it Ghostface, or was it a wannabe Ghostface? I mean, I guess anybody could be Ghostface, right? But the way it's structured, it was a little bit convenient there for a minute, in my opinion. But where they went to afterwards, to where like she gets lured in that alleyway, it was really like the way the person on the other side of the phone was convincing about it, and lured them and lured her into that alleyway, and then Ghostface comes out and kills her. And it kind of like, it gave me flashbacks of that scene in I Know What You Did Last Summer with Sarah Michelle Gellar, where she was in that alleyway and she's kind of getting stabbed behind like those tires. I think it was tires or something. This one, it was like a dumpster and some trash. I can't remember everything that was, but she was just getting stabbed aggressively. But then what happens? What happens next? Ghostface pulls the mask off, and it is, what was his name? Was it Jerry? Was that his name? I might be wrong about his name. Sometimes I'm not good with names. Let me see if I got a picture of him. Hell, if you've seen the movie, you probably already know. I hope you're not here if you haven't seen the movie, but yeah, we're gonna go with Jerry if that's his name. I'm not quite sure if that's his name or not. I have to look it up. Drawing a blank a little bit here, but anyways, the kid from Spider-Man No Way Home. And it's like he just like walks away, and then during the opening scene, while he's walking back to his apartment, he actually passes by Tara and some friends while they're on their way to a party, and he's just like, all right, yeah. And it's like, whoa, okay, so he's actually a student to Blackmore University. He gets to his apartment. His roommate, which is supposed to be his like partner, is nowhere to be found. And he sits down and he watches TV. And what is he watching? Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. So cool. I love that. We were all wondering, like, are they going to make any nods towards it? And it makes me wonder. And you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm glad we got something with Jason about Manhattan, especially Jason Takes Manhattan. But it makes me wonder, was that the original idea for him to be watching that? Because I'm pretty sure that TV or whatever was like a green screen, and they could have put anything there. And maybe after like post and there, everybody's like, oh, everyone is thinking this, and they're like, oh, we can plug that in there. I'm just glad they did it, though. I'm glad they did it. But then he gets a call from his roommate, and you know, I can't remember everybody's name, and I'm sorry, it's a little late, and I'm getting old, people. My brain isn't as fresh as it used to be. Anyways, and it's Ghostface, and he's like, all right, you can stop with the voice recording and or whatever, and he's just like, well, you have to find me or whatever. They're playing like this, like he's trying to find them, like hot and warm, hot and cold game or whatever, you know, whenever you get close to something. And he makes his way all the way to the refrigerator, and he opens it up, and it's his roommate all like chopped up in the fridge, like head and all. Like, it was nuts. And Ghostface shows up behind him and starts killing him. And their thing was like they wanted to finish the movie that Richie started. And that's what he says. He says, "What about my movie?" or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And he says, "No one cares about the fucking movies." And Ghostface goes down. Boom, title card. And we get some music. We get some like upbeat music, and we immediately transition into like our are characters. And they're all like going to a party. And but at the same time, you got Sam, who is talking to Dr. Stone, her therapist, and she's trying to explain what's going on with her. And so Tara and Sam are kind of separated, and that's the thing that they build on in this is the sister relationship and the core four relationship. And that's what I really liked about this movie. I was like, oh, okay, they did a really good job on that. They had some sentimental moments, and I like that. Where do I go? I say that, like, I don't know. I like the movie, but I feel like as much as it was different, it wasn't ballsy enough. Oh, I can hear people just being like, what? And they're just fixing to really comment down below. And that does not mean I don't like this movie, because I really did. I really, really did like this movie. I just don't feel, I feel like they just wasn't, they didn't take it there, you know? They didn't really, for me at least, it was like they almost, it's like they almost got probably so much backlash for killing Dewey in Scream 5 that they were scared to kill off anybody else, any of the legacy characters, anybody else that was like a part of this core four. And that kind of brings the stakes down a little bit. And some of them I'm kind of like, how in the hell did you live through that? And also what happened in Scream 5, you know? Especially Chad. How in the hell did he live through that? With two ghost faces stabbing him over and over and over. And he still lived. I didn't get that at all. It's like it was like they did a Dewey moment, you know? But it was almost like overkill Dewey moment. It was like, no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I don't know. And then it was like every time you thought that like somebody was actually going to get killed, it's like a paramedic or somebody would come in right after, you know, real quick and save their life. And I was like, very convenient writing. I just felt like we didn't really have a moment to where it's like it broke our hearts. That's one thing that's a con about this movie. I didn't get my heart broken. That's so weird to say about a movie, right? You want your heart to be broken? Hell yeah. In Scream, I do. Sometimes. Depending on who it is and how it's done. Break my fucking heart. Sounds like a country song. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else feel that way? Maybe I'm being a little too mean about it. Oh, Spin King. I told you. Spoilers, man. Don't watch spoilers. All right, let's get back to the chat for a minute. I want to hear what you guys think about the movie. Just a little bit. Spark up some conversations. Tell me some highlights, and let's discuss it. All right, super chats do go to the front of the line, but I try to give everybody their shine. But it might take a minute for me to get there. Cam TV says, Sam is definitely starting to worry me now. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about Sam for a second. Let's talk about Sam. She was really good in this, okay? And yeah, she might, by the end of the movie, be almost giving in a little bit. But it was almost like they could go either way with it. I mean, they could go... I mean, the way the movie is structured, that's one thing that I really feel like they should have done just a little bit more with, like the climax. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The climax with her donning the costume and playing, you know, like stalking our killer, you know, or one of our killers, or mastermind in this group, you know. And we'll talk about the killers. Oh, we'll talk about the killers. I want to get to it. But the way that was, I felt like they could have done more with that than the way she just pops out. It was just like, oh, they were just like, all right, just pop out, then walk over, and then just kill him like that. Like, because there was like that blackout moment, and he wakes up, and he doesn't know where he's at, and he gets the phone call and all that kind of stuff. I felt like they should have done more cat and mouse in that scene. But it is really cool to see where Sam's psyche is at this point. It's cool to see, like, is she going to turn? She had to use the darkness to fight the darkness. I kind of like that. And then we all speculated that scene where she's holding her dad's mask at the very end, looking down at it. And Tara's like, are you coming? And she throws the mask down, Those masks are left at, like, every crime scene, and they were counting down backwards to the first movie, to Billy Loomis's. And that was kind of similar, the way they were doing that with Scream 2. There was, like I said, there's a lot of little mirror images of Scream 2 without being just like, ripping it off or anything, stealing Wes Craven's work or Kevin Williamson's work. But like in Scream 2, it was like C.C. Cooper, and they were like killing people in the order. But then they kind of like let that go like halfway through the movie. And I was like, all right, well, we're just going to forget about that plot point. We're just going to keep going. So, and then in this one, that's how they do it. They're like counting backwards with the masks and leaving the mask at every crime scene. So yeah, I like that. I kind of like that aspect. And this one did have a lot more of a detective type mystery element to it, almost like a SVU for a second. There for a minute I was kind of like, it's like an episode out of SVU real quick. With Kirby Reed and Detective Bailey, and then the whole park scene, and then Mindy was always like referencing, like, this is exactly how our uncle died, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, yeah, they're in a park. There's a lot of people around. They're trying to catch Ghostface. They're trying to look at, they're using Sam and Tara's bait and all that. I felt like they could have done more with that scene. I don't feel like that scene was to its highest potential. But I did like it. I just, in certain scenes, I just wanted more. If I'm a killer, I ain't going after her. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Sam. Blucka says, since we all thought Laura was the opening in the ladder sequence, this jumped back up. Oh yeah. Blucka, the final victim list had less screen time and dialogue than most reviews on the movie. Yeah. Like, that's one thing about this movie is, like, I feel like the writers for Scream 5 and Scream 6, I feel like they need like another writer to come in and do the whole motive mystery element to it. Because it's like, it's almost really predictable. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of people we're working with here to know who is Ghostface, right? And you're already suspecting them for most of the movie. And then whenever it is, it kind of does, they try to throw you off a couple times, but then it's kind of like, yep, well, you just slightly, like the whole movie, you think it's these people. And then for a moment it throws you off, and then boom, it is those people. And so you were right all along. Your suspicions were right. Dwayne Williams, my uncle's in the house. Don't take this wrong, but I'm pretty sure you say baby back bullshit too much. That's what your cousin Corey. Oh, yeah, I do say it. It's something that I've always said, and I say it all the time. Yeah, good to see you, Unc. Let's see here. Blucka, at least Scream 6 proves Stu is dead with Ethan dying to the TV. No, I don't think so, Blucka. Okay. I honestly do not think so. And I really didn't like the way that was orchestrated. I didn't like how that played out a little bit. So yeah, there's some thoughts there. They also made a mention that some people still think he's alive, because they did mention Stu Macher in this movie, and I honestly think that they could still write it back. They have opened up this whole cult of Ghostface type thing from the very beginning of this movie. So who's to say he's not behind all of it? I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming what if we go back to Hollywood in Scream 7 and it mirrors Scream 3? And they're making a new Stab movie or something. We're back on the sets. I wonder where it could go. I just want these movies to be more connected to the original, and it is with the Billy Loomis thing. And that's one thing. Let me talk about Billy Loomis. Billy Loomis does make an appearance a couple times. Okay. He did make an appearance where I thought he was going to, whenever she walks up to the glass and sees her dad's robe and everything. I had a feeling that was going to be like the first triggering point of her, having hallucinations of her dad. But the way it's portrayed, I feel like it was better in this than it was in Scream 5. It's a little bit more faded, and he says less stuff. He says a lot in what he says, but it's not overused. Billy Loomis is not utilized. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's better handled in this movie. But I don't know how I feel about them almost like they don't make Billy a good guy, but they're like toying with that. Like they're almost like making him like this, I don't know, like a place of strength for Sam, like almost a positive moment. Like she has to become her dad in order to do all this, It's very, I don't know how far they're gonna go with that. I'm really curious. Carrie Cray Cinema is in the house. Hey, I saw Scream 6 a couple hours ago. Awesome, Carrie, my sister from another mister. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing what you have to say. What's your thoughts, Carrie? We got to talk. You already know. We have to talk for sure. Man, it's just so many. I feel like I just need to really see it one more time. At least. Thomas Hewitt's in the house. Destination Station. They have filmed different versions of the ending, so who knows what ending will be released. This is what Paramount has said themselves. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they probably did like do it several different ways, but then like certain people that survive and show up at the end, it's just kind of like, or did they film like the different climax of who the killers are or how it's orchestrated? Like, I'm really curious. But I hope we get to see all that. I really do. I really do. Dark Road. I just got back from seeing it in both 2D and 3D. Did 3D start out really bad at first for anyone, or was it just my theater? No. All right, so you saw it back to back. You saw it in 2D and 3D. I was actually thinking about going back and watching it again in 2D, just because I feel like the 3D was a little bit distracting. You're probably not wrong in that, Dark, because I don't know. It's just like it's like some things pop out, but not enough for it to be 3D. I just want to watch it in 2D and relax. I felt like when watching this in 3D, I couldn't relax because I'm trying to watch, and I got these damn glasses on, and I really don't see the full potential of them. So yeah, you're probably not wrong. Like I said, like the best 3D part of the entire movie is the end credits, the dust particles, and the lettering and stuff coming out. It's and that's not even much. Carrie Cracino says the 4DX threw my focus off because I kept getting whiplash every time Ghostface was stabbing someone. I would like to watch it in 4DX. I bet you that was cool, especially like the ladder scene. Carrie, let me know, how was that ladder scene in 4DX? Did they like sway the seat whenever the camera's going over and going up and down and stuff? Like I could see that happen. And you know, like speaking about that, that's one thing that this movie feels like. This movie feels epic in almost every single way. Almost too epic in my opinion. Like, and I'm not trying to be like negative on the movie at all, because I'll only have a few cons, you know, but like Scream is always a little bit grounded, you know, a little bit more calmer, but like Radio Silence, what they did with camera angles, which was it was all very well shot. It was really well shot. It was like almost like it was just like almost like how an action movie would be shot, you know, like the Fast and Furious franchise with crazy shots and stuff like that. And just like, it was really good. It was really, as far as technicality, it was great. But just sometimes I felt like with the epic scores and the music, and then we also got like this, like all these other, like the soundtrack and stuff. It's like, it's like almost too upbeat sometimes, and it's almost too intense. It's almost too like thrill ridey, you know. But I like it also. So it's like I'm almost torn. That's why it's like I have to watch it again. I need to watch it again to really soak that in. So yeah. Oh, we got a super chat in the house. Super chats go to the front of the line. You already know. Oh, I am behind on the chat just a little bit. From my very own sister from another mister. With a $2 super chat. Oh my God, the ladder scene in 4DX was insane. I bet, Carrie. That's what I was thinking while watching this movie in 3D. I was like, I bet you this scene with the sound effects and then the seats like zooming or kind of motioning this way or that way, or even like maybe some of the shots like over the city, you know, near the beginning of the movie where we see that, or maybe even like a subway like rattling or something. I could see that a lot. I bet you had a lot of fun. So Carrie, you highly recommend 4DX and Scream. It's got to be better in 3D. It's got to be. I think that might be the next way I see the movie. It's in 4DX. I might go to a Cinemark, and since I went to AMC this time, I'll go to a Cinemark and try. Since this movie does feel almost like a ride with some of the shots and intense moments and the way it goes down, maybe 4DX is the way to see it. But yeah, awesome. That's great to hear, Carrie. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat. My sister from another mister has spoken. That's the way I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it in 4DX. Carrie also says, as Anika was being shaken side to side, the seats were shaking side to side. Wow. Okay. Do they ever do 4DX 3D? Like, could you watch it 4DX movies in 3D? Do they do a combo with that? I've always wondered. I haven't been to one. It might. I don't know. Carrie says, I mean, 4DX was fun for sure, and we had a dude dressed as Ghostface the whole time. That's really cool. I bet you that was a lot of fun. Carrie, thank you again for that $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Super chats do go to the front of the line, but I have to get back to where I was for sure. Wow, 4DX. Y'all heard it here. Carrie Cray Cinema. Also, if you're not subscribed to Carrie Crave Cinema, do yourself a favor and go check out her content. She is doing amazing things over there. If you like my content, if you're into Scream, if you're into slashers, you're into horror, Carrie Crave Cinema is the place to be. Check her out. Really great stuff. Really good friend of mine, really good content creator. You know, we met over on Craven. What am I trying to say? Craven something scary. Jeez, I cannot talk tonight. What is wrong with me? That's what this movie did to me. I can't think. I can't talk. I have so many thoughts running through. It's just like racing. But yeah, go check out Carrie Crave Cinema. Great content. Great content. I would not steer you wrong. Super awesome. And a really good person. She's a really good soul. If you like my content, you'll love her stuff. Let's see here. Where was I? Scott Walker's in the house. Sorry, I'm very late to the live stream. I'd like to go pick up my mother-in-law and get Trish. Oh, okay, that's cool, man. I'm glad you're here. We're like 46 minutes in. Not sure how long we're gonna go. But welcome. I hope you were able to see Scream 6. Blucka said, "Why did they kill Dewey again?" Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. They did pull on your heartstrings with Dewey in this, and those moments of the score of, you know, Red Right Hand or just Dewey's theme, like really well placed. And seeing his stuff in that shrine, in the Ghostface shrine, was really, really cool. That was really touching, with Gail doing that. I just, you know, it's crazy. It's really crazy. I personally was hoping to get a flashback scene, with Dewey in it. You know, like a lot of people speculated that, like, they thought, like, rumor had it that a house like Kirby's was built on the set, and we thought we were going to get a flashback of how Kirby survived from Scream 4, but we did not get that. We did not get that flashback that we were all hoping. And I was hoping, wouldn't it be really cool if we see how she survived? Like, she was bleeding out, maybe she made it inside, she made it to the steps of her basement, she's crawling out, and maybe they open the door, and who is it? Dewey saves her from Scream 4, and that's what motivates her to go into law enforcement. She looked up to Dewey after that moment. I thought that would have been a really cool story thread. But yes, yeah. One thing that they don't do in this movie, and hold on, we got another super chat before I get on that topic. Got another super chat in the house. Like I said, you already know super chats go to the front of the line. That sounded scary with a $2 super chat. Anika looked worse than fried chicken Amber. That was pretty gnarly, wasn't it? That was pretty wild. Kind of felt sorry for her. I really did. Like, I was like, oh man, she's just in the midst of all this craziness, and she should have got away. I almost didn't believe the moment whenever Mindy chose to go before her. I felt like Mindy should have forced her to go. You know, like, I know we want Mindy to live and everything, and they were setting up a kill scene, but you've been through all this before. Even if this person is telling you to go, I'm right behind you, I would be like, no, I've been through this before. I'm not going to leave you behind. I'm going to force you to go out that window, you know? But yeah, when she lands, she hits her head. Ooh, it looks sick. The sound effects to it too, it was really good. It was really cool. But yeah, that sounded scary. Thank you for that $2 super chat, man. Really looking forward to hearing more of your thoughts on this movie. We got to talk, brother. Also, if you're not subscribed to That Sounded Scary, check him out. He does some mask rehauls. He does some really cool content over there. So yeah, check him out. Good friend of the channel. And if he's a friend of mine, he should be a friend of yours. Same thing goes with Carrie Crave Cinema. All right. Thank you again, man. Thank you again. Oh man, that was really cool. Like, that's one thing that this movie did have, was like some really good makeup effects, like kills. The blood is gushing. We got like really brutal stuff, like the bodega scene. You know, like there was some more action to be had that we didn't see in the trailer. You know, but it was really cool in the way the cat and mouse. Even though we saw a lot of that in the trailer, I wish we didn't see as much as we have seen, but it still was like on the edge of your seat. Like, oh my God, like he just pops out of nowhere, pops up out of nowhere and just starts chasing them. And they go in there for help. And he just walks in there. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ghostface doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care who's in there. He's just going to come in the middle of a crowd and just start slicing. That's what I kind of liked about this. Like, he was a little unpredictable. Like, so it was a little different. Jinsaku says, on time, let's go. Yes. Welcome. Jinsaku says, this is my favorite Scream movie, to be honest, with the original as a close second. Wow, that's a big statement. Hold on. That's a big statement. I got to take my hat off. I respect that 100. I'm going to take these glasses off too. It's time to change it up a little bit. All right. I respect that, Jinsaku. I really do. I don't think it's as good as the first film at all. I really don't know where I rank this movie yet. Like I said, I have to see this movie one more time. Maybe 2 more times. I'm definitely going to see it by the end of the weekend again in 4DX. But I don't think it's... I definitely wouldn't put it before the first film. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far. Okay? But I respect that. And a lot of people love it. This might be... Every Scream, everybody you talk to has a different ranking of this franchise, and they're all quality in their own way. There's not like a terrible Scream movie or anything, but a lot of people, especially with the sequels, they rank them completely different. You know, I don't know where I rank it yet. I really don't. I'm still processing it a little bit. Like, sometimes I felt like it was like almost too much. Like, it was almost like too different. Like, yeah, there's still that formula. You still got that Scream formula that still, you know, is there. But some of the lines, there are some cheesy one-liners. There's, there's still some goofy moments. Something about, like, the line delivery of our killers I wasn't vibing with. Like, it was cool. Yeah, it was like a Debbie Salt 2.0. Somebody put that in the chat earlier. It was like a Debbie Salt 2.0. And a lot of people were speculating, are they going to do something like that? Why is my robe all messed up? What in the hell? All right, yeah, that's better. Why didn't y'all tell me I looked all jacked up? Y'all just gonna make me look like this the whole stream? Anyways, so yeah, like, I assumed, and I was also spoiled, but I wanted to be wrong. And I wanted there to be a little bit more of a motive, but we are kind of mirroring Scream 2 a little bit, so it kind of lines up with the whole thing, you know? So you know, one of our killers is, I guess, our mastermind of this entire group. If you want to know who the killers are, you might want to click out, but smash that like button before you go. And if you are just popping in, smash that like button anyways. Really appreciate it. But you have been warned. This time around in Scream 6, we have 3 killers. We have 3 killers this time around. And a lot of us have been wanting that for a very, very long time. And me especially, like, I like it. I really do. I like that. I just wanted there to be more suspects, because I feel like the suspects that we had, I mean, it could only be so many people, right? Unless you go into the legacy characters. So it's kind of like everybody that wasn't a legacy character is a Ghostface, you know? It's a family of Ghostface in this one. And the motive behind this one is pretty much revenge. It's like, it's revenge on Richie. This is Richie's family. This is Richie's dad. Detective Bailey is Richie's dad. And Ethan. And, what's the other girl's name? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Somebody, chat, help me out. The other young lady is the sister. So it's all it's a family for revenge on Richie, that Sam killed. So Quinn, that's it. I see it. Quinn, Ethan, and Detective Bailey, and they're all getting, like there's like one moment in the movie where there's like a fake out scene, and they do this sometimes in the Scream movies. It was it's a red flag to me. Even if I wasn't spoiled on the movie, when seeing this scene, I was like, nope, red flags went off. That's not typical Scream stuff. I don't know if I buy it yet. So when that happened, right before the ladder scene, if you know what I'm talking about with Quinn, I was just like, nope, that wasn't creative enough. That doesn't feel right there. So I think I would have thought that going through it. I think I would have guessed it if I wasn't already spoiled on the movie. But you're always suspecting Ethan in this. Like the entire movie, he's like the socially awkward kind of kid that's kind of tagging along. He's Chad's roommate, so Chad's like, I like how Chad treated Ethan throughout the movie. Like he was like, "Where the hell were you?" Like, and like slams him up against a car and gets all up in his face and gets all aggressive and stuff. Like you really went back and forth with Ethan. Like you didn't really get much from the kid either. That's one thing that I felt like we needed an Ethan moment. And you could have said that scene with Mindy on the subway is part of the Ethan moment, but that wasn't enough, Like I don't know. All of our core four are really smart characters, and that's what I like that they have done with this. Because if you ever watched any horror movie, a lot of times the characters aren't smart, and in this it feels like they're smart. That's what I like about our core four, and they always like seem to get it. It was kind of like whenever they were saying who the killers were and they were pointing the fingers at them, they were right. Similar to the way Dewey was with Richie in Scream 5. Like he nailed it right there from the get-go. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so obvious in your face, but they're right, Like I want to be wrong. I want it to be like a twist I don't see coming. A motive that I don't see coming whatsoever. So red flags were going off whenever I saw what's his name? Is his name I can't think of his name. Anyways, moving on. Let's get back to the chat. I felt like I said earlier, if you're just coming into the chat, I feel like, look, I got a Scream shirt too. Check it out. Yeah, I wore that. Me and my daughter, we went tonight. She's a big Scream fan. And we had matching shirts. So yeah, we had a good time. We did the same thing for Scream 5. But anyways, I just feel like this movie didn't break my heart. I know that's so bad to say because a lot of these people you don't want to go. You're like, no, don't kill them. Like Randy in Scream 2, that was like the first time we really had our heart broken in the franchise, And then we had Cotton in Scream 3, and then in Scream 4, it was like they were too scared to really kill off a legacy character. I felt like they should have in that movie. And then in Scream 5, they really break our hearts, with Dewey's death. And now in this one, I was like, give us at least one. But Gail still has a slight pulse. I really thought Gail was going to go. And I really think that she should have. Honestly, I think Gail should have. I think that would have been a perfect moment for Gail. I think it would have been really cool if he would have dropped her off of the balcony and dropped her over the edge, instead of stabbing her, just like dropped her from that high up. I think that would have been really dope. Just really mean, I like the callbacks also with Tara and Sam not liking Gail because she's like promoting this and she did write about the book. And so it's like that, how Sydney didn't like Gail, but now Tara and Sam doesn't. And Tara, takes a swing at Gail, but Gail sees it coming and dodges it, and then next thing you know, Tara comes in and sticks Gale. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Like the sisters sticking together and taking up for each other, and they really like built that bond. Like Sam being the protector over Tara this entire time, and it's like they're their own family. And they also mentioned that like their mother pretty much, the mother cut Sam off, and then I guess cut Tara off too, or Tara cut her mom off because they sided together. So they are their own family. And then the core four are like their own little family. So they've kind of like created their own family. I like it. I do like it. I just felt like Gale gets really bad injured. Doesn't die. Mindy gets really bad injured. I really thought she was going to go. I said, okay, now they're really going to do it. Nope. Doesn't happen. And then Chad, he really gets it. With two ghost faces on him at once. Stabbing. I don't understand how he's just like on his knees, and like I didn't really like how he was just like staring that entire time. He was just like, taking it, I guess. But there was a lot of stabs. If you can hear every single squish of the stab, it's like, wow, and you got two people stabbing you on both sides. I call bullshit. As much as I like Chad, I just don't see anybody really surviving that. But, okay. It's a Scream movie. We'll go with it. We know how many times Dewey's been stabbed throughout the franchise, but not like Chad. Think about in Scream 5, how he just got chop, just real quick. And in this one, the same way. It's crazy. It's real crazy. Let's see, where was I? Skywalker says, don't spoil Scream 6 for me and Trish, please. Man, it's on the thumbnail. This is spoiler talk, Scott. I'm sorry if I already have, but you've been warned. Too late, man. That's the point of this stream. Exactly. Jinsaku says, I came in thinking it might not be as good as 5, and I was shocked how much I liked it. I know, I liked it too. Anybody want to talk about that after credit scene? Did anybody stay after the credits and watch that? I mean, it really wasn't anything, really. It was more of a joke on the audience than anything. It's probably something that was just cut out. It looked like it was just something that was cut out of Mindy's speech when she's talking about all the sequel to a requel and all that kind of stuff. And I told y'all they were going to play on that. This was going to be a sequel to the requel, and all that. I just thought they were going to play a little bit with Stab on that. I thought they were going to double down with like a requel to Stab, and maybe that's what's going to be playing in the background. But if that was going on, it was very subtle. I might have missed it, because I know there was some Stab elements in there, but they did not like focus on Stab that much, which I appreciated. I like a little bit of Stab in there, but like I don't like focusing on it and seeing scenes that are kind of like real goofy and cheesy, like I feel like that's where Scream, I feel like if they ever do if they do a traditional requel to the Scream franchise, a sequel to the original Scream, they could go in a totally different direction and not even add Stab. And you could bring back Randy, and you could bring back Dewey. You could do like a sequel like Halloween H2O. 20 years later or 30 years later, whenever they decide to do it, whatever. And all of our characters that survived Scream 1 are now older, and that's a way to bring all our characters back. They could do something like that. So, I don't know. I just feel like when we introduced Stab in Scream 2, that's where we started like on that fine line of scary movie a little bit, a little bit. It goes almost too goofy sometimes, too meta in some areas. Let's see here. Thomas, are you Skywalker? Like the Jedi? Um, Scott Walker, I thought you didn't want to be spoiled. I could tell you. I mean, you asked, and this is a spoiler talk. So, the beginning of the movie, it's kind of like you have another ghost face, but it's kind of like not there's like another ghost face, like it's just like you kind of find out later on that they were kind of working together a little bit. But it kind of opens up with like a ghost face killer taking off a mask and getting killed as well. It's pretty creative. It's pretty well done the way it was structured. It was really cool. Jinsaku says, unfortunately, the opening scene was spoiled for me on Twitter, so I didn't get to be shocked, but I still was surprised with the rest of the movie. Awesome. Yeah, that opening was being all over the internet. I saw a little bit of it, but not the entire thing. I kind of cut it off whenever I realized, like, oh no, I don't want to see any of this. Scott Walker says, did you see any evidence pointing to Stu being alive or not? Couple things. I think it was from Kirby Reed, if I remember correctly, saying that some people still think he's alive. So they're still planting seeds on Stu. They really are. So they're not saying he's dead. He ain't dead dead. I don't think he's dead. I think they could still bring him in. I think there's still room for that. And I hope it's done right, I think it'd be really cool if it's done right. Scott Walker says, was I right about the alley, but Ghostface was standing in the same place where they did Spider-Man? Not sure if that's the same exact scene or the same exact alley, but that is the opening. Tracy Plan says, Jason. Yeah, it's really cool to see like the nod towards Jason Takes Manhattan. That was really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That was really neat. Let's see. Jinsaku says the character name was actually Jason, and the movie he was watching was reference to Jason. That's right, Jason. Well, how could I have forgotten that? Why did I say Jerry? Maybe he just looks like a Jerry to me. I don't know. But yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. I'm glad they gave that to us. And did anybody else see the Michael Myers mask around the subway? That was cool. They hid that from the movie. I mean, from the trailer. Thought that was really neat. Blacka says there were only 7 non-Ghostface kills. 3 no name, 2 in the line at the bodega, off-screen bathtub guy, Anika, Laura, and Stone. Yeah, and talking about that whole scene with Quinn and that whole fake out scene, and with the guy that was in the bathtub and everything that we saw images of, and we thought that was the Jason character, the Jerry. We thought that was him, but honestly, it wasn't him. It looks like it was somebody else, whoever Quinn was with. I would have liked to seen a flashback to that scene to see how she played that out, and maybe killed that dude. I think that would have been really cool. That Sounded Scary says Scream was 9 out of 10. Awesome. Yep. This movie's getting great reviews. The marketing's been strong. Everything's been really strong all around it. I'm glad you liked it. Lucka Blugger says you probably get less than 5 minutes of screen time between the 7 victims combined. Okay. I like that music. Yeah, that's one thing about this movie. The music, the score. I love the scores in this one. I love the little, throwbacks to Red Right Hand and all that kind of stuff. But just like the soundtrack as well, like it's a very upbeat movie. And just the way it's shot too. And like I said, it's like a theme park ride. It's like a roller coaster. It just keeps going. There's all these like ups and downs. I just feel like they should have broken our heart once. This being like the meanest Ghostface ever. Like, where are they gonna go now? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we go back to Hollywood. if they're gonna mirror Scream 3 a little bit, what honestly what they should do, what I think that they should do, and I've said this before, um, they should be making a requel to Stab, but remaking that requel in Woodsboro, like a Return to Woodsboro type thing, you know? Like, I know that's pretty much what Scream 3 was, but we were set in Hollywood. But what if they were actually on location in Woodsboro, and you had all the set stuff, and and they're like, oh, this is in our hometown, you know? Like, what's going on here? So they're there. Maybe they get brought back there because of a killing, you know, or something. Or maybe they're just like, hey, we went all the way to New York City and Ghostface found us. We might as well be home, you know. And then they got this movie being made in their hometown. I think that would be a really cool, interesting way of taking it. If they want to mirror Scream 3 with Scream 7, you know, since that is greenlit. This one's mirroring Scream 2, so how are they going to mirror Scream 3? It's got to be like making a movie a little bit, right? Cam TV said, do you see anything in Sam now, Destin, after this? I do. I think that like her throwing down the mask at the end and walking away with Tara, pretty much is like she's trying to leave it behind. I think it would have been cooler if she would have kept it, you know, and like in secret. I think that would have been really cool. But she does utilize it to take out Detective Bailey. But the way it was structured, I just wanted it to be more cat and mouse. It's like he wakes up, he gets the phone call, he kind of makes his way just down that little walkway up on the stage behind that curtain, and then she pops out and kills him, which was pretty cool. But it would have been a lot cooler if they just played a little bit more cat and mouse there. That's what I wanted. It was just like, all right, it was like they were just like rushing it, you know, a little bit. And maybe that's what they were talking about. A lot of people were saying like the climax was rushed. I don't feel like it was too rushed. I just feel like that part of the climax was really rushed. And I wasn't really a big fan of Ethan. Honestly, I just wasn't. I even though that, you know, like you're suspecting him the entire time, Chad's suspecting him. It's like even when he's revealed, I'm just like, I just didn't like his version of Ghostface. That was one of my gripes about this, was like the line deliveries of our Ghostface when given all their exposition and stuff. Like, I was like, okay, like I felt like Debbie Salt was a little bit more menacing, in my opinion. But yeah. That Sounds Scary says a couple things weren't in the movie, like the Mackenzie family murder. That wasn't mentioned at all, or wrongfully accused. The musical. I thought that same thing about the musical, and you're right about the Mackenzie thing. There was no characters. That would have been really cool if they had somebody tied with Mackenzie. I guess it's just an Easter egg poster. That's all they were. Carrie Cray Simmons said, I wanted a tad more brutal, to be honest. I did too. As much as brutal as I heard, like I thought it was gonna be like gory, but there was a couple scenes, especially in that opening, and Anika's death. But I do like that hand-to-hand stuff. I feel like the choreography on how Ghostface was taking people out was really cool. Ghostface with a shotgun was really cool too. Even though we've been seeing it in the trailer for a while now. May Ann is in the house. What's up, May? Hello, everyone. Just passing by to leave a like and support. Can't stay. I'm watching it tomorrow. Okay, well, thank you for liking the stream, and I hope you enjoy. I should have my weekly live stream tomorrow night as well. Probably be more Scream talk. We'll get more into stuff, and probably going to be talking about this for a minute. We're all processing it. We're all like letting it marinate a little bit. Vampire's Coffin says, you're not wrong. I heard from 15 people that they didn't go ballsy or take risks. They played it safe. They did. Like, it like when Ghostface is in the costume, it's awesome. But And they did do some different stuff, like 2 ghost faces, like, stabbing somebody at the same time. That was really cool. Like, we got 3 ghost faces as the reveal. That was really cool. We see Ghostface really energetic, really aggressive. Some really cool stabs here and taking people out. Like, he's just running in the middle of, like, a convenience, the bodega, on the street, just, like, running. Like, he doesn't care who's watching. It's like, it's almost like his playground because of the holiday season, you know? It's like he doesn't care. It's like, I can do whatever I want right now. So it's like he, and I assume that's like more Detective Bailey doing a lot of that action stuff, like with the shotgun and being real aggressive like that. I just really do think they should have broke our heart with one of the characters, just one of them. You know, like, it's like everybody gets stabbed. Even Tara got stabbed. Carrie Cray Cinema says, because the trailer in the bodega scene looks so bad, but watching it in the movie, I was like, yeah. I feel like I still like the whole entire scene. I felt like there should have been a little bit more. They showed us too much of that scene. But it's a big marketing piece, you know, like also because it's like, oh, no one's ever seen Ghostface with a shotgun before. This is going to get people questioning and wanting to buy tickets. Cody Ghostface, has there been any spoilers? I've not seen it yet. Yeah, we're talking spoilers tonight, man. Sorry, it's on the thumbnail. So yeah, check it out. I'll have another stream tomorrow night. We'll talk more spoilers for sure. Yep. Thank you, Carrie. What do y'all think about like the motive? Did y'all like that? Did y'all like the motive? It's like a family of Ghostface, you know, like almost even like Detective Bailey. Like, as much as I like Dermot Mulroney as an actor, and he was okay in this, but even before his reveal, some of the line deliveries that he had, like, "Let's go kill this son of a bitch," you know, and stuff. I was like, kind of like, all right, easy, Seabiscuit, calm down, Grandpa, like just a little bit, you know, like I don't know, like it's like you didn't know what to think. Like, you liked him a little bit, you kind of sympathized with him a little bit, but but you also didn't care either because you also had Kirby there, so it was like this back and forth thing. I thought it would have been really crazy. I mean, they didn't even kill Kirby. Kirby got really hurt. And then for a minute, you thought Kirby was the killer. You know? I mean, it would have been crazy. Like, you do something so crazy. As much as, I mean, like, I know a lot of us don't want to see Kirby as a killer. I get it. I don't really want to see that either. But if it was written right, it might have been really good. You know? If it was written right. Let's see here. Yeah, spoilers. Nice. Okay. Jinsaku says, Chad is the new Dewey. I get it. Dewey should have been dead. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what they're doing with Chad. Like, they're just like, yeah, he's just gonna get wheeled out on a stretcher with a thumbs up, you know. I do miss Wes Craven though, and Kevin Williamson's writing. I do miss that a lot. That trailer shouldn't have shown the bodega. Yeah, at least not that much, you know. Maybe I feel like it just showed like almost the entire scene almost. That sounded scary. Leave if you don't want to be spoiled, because Destin and I can't help ourselves. Right? Exactly. Yeah, you've been warned for sure. Rusty Shipley says, I gotta say I loved it. Much better than 5 and maybe in my top 3 of the franchise. Awesome. And a lot of people feel that way. That's good. I don't feel like I want to rate it or rank it until I watch it one more time. You know, part of it is I haven't like had like good sleep. I've been working a lot lately, been doing these live streams.
a lot lately, or being on somebody else's stream, I kind of had a headache today. Like, it wasn't like a migraine or anything, but just kind of like a tired headache. So that could have been part of while I was watching it, like not making it as such a great of experience as I wanted it to be, you know. And I did have a good experience. I had a really good experience. I really, really liked the movie, but there's just certain things that I felt like they just should have changed a little bit. And and scaling back some stuff, like I love seeing Kirby back. I love that she's back and everything. And it's so cool that she could be moving forward in this franchise. But when 7 comes out, they better have the balls and kill somebody and do something really different. Bring a Stumacher back as a killer. Make Kirby a killer. Or kill Kirby off. Or, I mean, I really don't want to see that. You know, I'd rather it be Gale. Or one of our core 4, you know? I really thought Mindy was going to be a goner. I really did. I didn't think she was going to make it out of this, but she did. Scott Walker says, from what I ran on the internet, there are so many similarities to Scream 2 because of motive. The current wants revenge for the death of their child, and well, yeah, absolutely. Detective Bailey is Debbie Salt 2.0, and they even like really reference it too. Like they even talk about her right around the reveal, and then they even put the mask on Debbie Salt's mannequin. You know, hey, did I miss it or something? Did I go to the bathroom and miss something? But did we ever get that cameo? Did I miss that? Let me know if there was a cameo, because I didn't see a cameo besides Billy Loomis, and that I didn't really consider that because I kind of assumed he was going to be back. That would have been a cameo if it wasn't in Scream 5. Let's see here. The fact that Sam said it felt right. Yeah. That was kind of cool how she grabbed the knife, you know, like her dad, Billy Loomis, telling her, grab the knife, you know. Yeah. He's like an evil Yoda. He's like an evil ghost Jedi Yoda. But it's like he's not veering her in the wrong way, because she's gonna have to fight back. I just don't know how I feel about that. Like, where are they gonna go with her character? Are they gonna really go there? Are they gonna take it to the point to where it's like she is Ghostface or something? Like, that would have been that would be wild. Cam thinks, I think it's definitely possible she will become a killer in 7. Yeah, if she is, it'll be like side by side with another killer, or it'll be 2 killers. Wouldn't that be crazy? If we see a trailer of Scream 7, we see Ghostface and we see Ghostface, and they go running at each other, and then the trailer cuts. And we're like, oh, one of them's got to be Sam. You know? I could see that happening, honestly. Being like 2 different like motives here of why Sam's killing and why our initial Ghostface killer is killing. Blucka said, I always had a thing for you, Sid Stumacher. I always wanted to stick something. Yeah, it was. I didn't like that line. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Some of the lines from our killers at the end were just kind of like, I don't know. It kind of brought me out just a little bit. Do you think Mindy's mind will be messed up in Scream 7 when her girlfriend dies and somehow she will blame Sam and Tara, or do you think she will be okay? Honestly, I think Mindy's smarter than that. I think, if anything, I don't think she'll blame Sam or Tara. She might feel guilt for bringing her into that. And I can see her not having a relationship ever again after that. I could see Chad and Tara's relationship blossoming. And you know, Josh Segarra's character, I really I feel like they should have done more with his character also. You know, I mean, he survived, and it was kind of like you didn't know. It's like we got more additions in this one than we did get taken away. Usually we're like got like 4 people that are still alive. This one, it feels like half of our cast was still alive by the end. But yeah. Blucko said, I thought Ethan would have had the stew mask if he was going to get the stew lines and eat the TV, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I truly think Chad is Dewey. Yeah. It might be Dewey's kid. I don't know. Probably not. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably not. But yeah. Where do you think we're gonna go in Scream 7? Where can we go? I thought maybe like I mean, okay, yeah, we could go to the obvious place. We could go back to Woodsboro, and we could do something different. You know, instead of just going back to Woodsboro, maybe they're filming a new Stab movie. You know, or could we be going back to Hollywood if they're going to mirror Scream 3 a little bit? We could be going over there. Or what if we get like a tropical setting, kind of like how I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was? Like our core 4 goes on vacation to get away from everything. Maybe there's a killing that happens at the beginning of Scream 7, and they're just like, nah, we're going to go on vacation. Nah, what, you aren't going to stay for the movie? Nope, we're out. And then they fly and they meet like, you know, other couples and all that kind of stuff at a beach resort or something. And we kind of get something similar to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I wouldn't be mad about that. Like a Scream movie in a vacation setting. That would be really, that might be something fun to play with. Blood in the Sand. Or they could be going anywhere. Usually whenever they're this far into a franchise, they'll take it to like Paris, or we'll go to space, or we'll go to the hood or something, you know. Cody says, I was kind of mad that Gail moved on so fast and had a new boyfriend. Then he dies in this. I bet she's just tired of it. I was too. I was kind of like, that's what I made all those theory videos. I was like, we may not like Gail very much in this movie. And for the most part, we didn't, especially when we first see her. We definitely did. And then Ghostface just kind of like taunts her a little bit. I mean, her and Dewey were split up in 5. So they were split up before that. So it wasn't like they just separated from his death. They were separated before. But that right there, what is kind of like, it just kind of make, because like her loyalty is supposed to be with Dewey and all that kind of stuff, and just how bad Dewey was off, it's kind of like it makes it hurt so much more, you know. They broke our heart with that. But yeah, I feel like this was like a perfect time for Gail to go, but for some reason they didn't do it. Yeah, they need to break our hearts just a little bit. I feel like this was the one that they should have done. This one almost felt like the music video of the Scream franchise, you know, like the roller coaster ride of this. This is like, you remember how people felt about A Nightmare on Elm Street 4? How that was MTV Freddy? I feel like this is our MTV Ghostface. Anybody feel that? Anybody feel that vibe just a little bit? Ooh, somebody said in the chat, Mega Giant said Scream 7 Las Vegas. Interesting. Yeah, they could do Las Vegas. I like that. Blucka says, can someone explain to me why Kirby hugged Sam if all they did was going to the same school together? I mean, they knew each other and they were both survivors, so they probably just did that. That's one thing I like. As much as I loved seeing Kirby back, it did almost feel just a little forced. Like sometimes I was like, it almost doesn't feel like the same Kirby sometimes. Like, I don't know. Like I was like the whole Kirby dynamic did feel a little bit of an afterthought in a way. But they gave her some stuff to do, and she almost was a red herring a little bit. So yeah, I'm just glad to see her back. I'm glad to see her back. How would y'all like that reveal too? Like it wasn't Detective Bailey, it was really her. How would you have felt? One thing that I can say about this one is that I feel like these killers doing the damage that they did felt more believable than what Amber and Richie did in Scream 5. Or what Jill and Charlie did in Scream 4. Like small characters, like really small characters or high school kids or whatever, pulling off all these badass kills and how strong they are and all this kind of stuff. This one, especially Detective Bailey, I was like, okay, that's believable. I feel like he could have done all this damage. He could have done that bodega scene, you know? I just want to see, like, I still want to see more flashbacks. Yeah, he talks about he like planted this and did this at crime scenes, but I would have liked to see him actually plant that stuff or set things up. I want some flashbacks in my damn Scream movies. She didn't even hug Tara. That was so cold. That's true. That's a good point. Maybe Kirby babysitted Sam. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Maybe. I mean, Kirby's only 3 years older. I think they said Cody. Oh. Let's see. Blucka also says, I just wish that if you were going to keep all of them alive, you should have went deeper into characters and not just have them around for an Avengers Infinity War, all teams meeting up for a nostalgia moment. Yeah, right. That's what it feels like. It was just like all coming together like that, and they'll probably and that's what I'm saying. Scream 7 needs to be our end game. I don't want it to end there, you know. Make it a 2-part or something. But we need maybe one of our legacy characters be in the opening kill, and then maybe we get another. They break our heart again later on with another kill. I think that would be cool. Carrie Cray Simmons says, I loved it. That opening scene was brilliant. Yes, it was. That opening scene was pretty damn wild. I want to watch it again. In fact, I might go see it tomorrow. No, probably not. I'll probably go see it Saturday. 4DX. Hey, I don't know if y'all noticed or anything earlier, but I did get some souvenir cups at the AMC. They're like lenticular. I showed this at the beginning of the stream, but if you're just coming in, I'm gonna show it to you again. But like, see the back of it. You got Ghostface popping in and out. They had like 3 different versions. I don't know how many there were, but they said they only had 3. But you got Ghostface right here, the way he's standing. Kind of like standing up straight, which is pretty cool. The other one, I wish the cups were like a different thing, but they aren't. They're all the same lenticular. Got the Ghostface popping out, but they all have like different little figurines on top, and they're detachable, you know. Some sit in. One of them actually like are little pegs, and you put them on the feet. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Another stance. And then the third one is this one right here. I kind of like this one. I kind of like how he's like looking over. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I really do. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Ghostface. I didn't see any popcorn buckets or anything like that, like Cinemark had. Just cups. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna buy all 3. Why not? So yeah, sorry if you had to see that twice, but I showed it at the beginning of the stream, so I figure I'd show it again now. Lucas says, I try to think of moments I like, but they were all ruined by the trailer. The latter sequence could have been huge, but the trailer and Nika had no screen time or dialogue. She didn't have enough screen time for us to really care about that moment, you know. But it was cool. It was still a cool set piece and death. Like I said, the bodega could have been crazy, but they showed everything. Yeah, they did. They did show a lot in the trailers. We Scream 5 and Scream 6, we were spoiled a lot. Blucka says Gail's scene could have been amazing, but they showed everything. But the Carpenters and EMS showing up in record time. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like how that happened. I was like, oh, they're actually gonna do it. Like my eyes were like glued. I was like, oh my god, they're actually gonna do it. Especially how Ghostface like grabs. It felt like that Dewey moment, you know, like she's about to get the upper hand, and then he grabs that glass and boom, hits her. Yeah. Let's see here. Debbie Salt 2.0. I feel they did it right. Yeah. Carrie says, as Anika was being shaken side. Oh yeah. That's something we went over earlier. Should I buy Megan, guys? What, the movie? Yeah, buy Megan. That sounded scary. Says, man, Anika looked worse than Fry. Wow. I feel like, I don't know if you said that again or maybe I was going over it earlier. But yeah, absolutely. Let's see. They have left the idea of stew on the table. I don't want that necessarily, but it is a possibility. Yeah, it definitely is. Like, they're still like toying with the idea. Like, some people still think he's alive. Like, why say that? You know, is it just for fan service, or are they just leaving that option on the table? Like, we could go with this if we can't find something better over here. And honestly, at this point, it's an ace. It's an ace, and it's an easy ace. And you please so many people. I know some people don't want him back, but you please so many people. Just do it. Do it. All right. You're welcome. Absolutely. Carrie, my sister from another mister. Cam TV, I think the stakes should be at an all-time high in 7. Maybe we should start a petition or something. That's what I would say. Open Scream 7 with a legacy person getting killed. And then like 45 minutes in the movie, we lose somebody else. And it's like, oh, we just lost 2? You know? But now, how are you going to feel when someone gets stabbed? When one of our legacy characters actually gets stabbed a lot, and we're going to have in the back of our mind, they could just show up at the end of the movie just because that's what Radio Silence has done the last couple times. So we might not even believe it. So I feel like their death scene, if they kill our legacy characters, it's going to have to be more than stabs. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't make us believers. You can't make it sting if it's just stabs. It's going to have to be something vicious. Like gnarly. That's what I think. Carrie Cocaine Bear. That's funny. Anika got tore up for sure. I know, when they played Dewey's theme, that was so cool. I loved it. I didn't believe Anika getting stabbed. Anika should have died instantly. Yeah, like he almost like pulls it up in her stomach a little bit. Like, go ahead and kill her off. You know? Like, I felt like that whole entire like apartment sequence, like the way they get to that window was a little messy. I felt like it could have been like structured just a little bit better, but I liked it. I mean, it worked. I know it seems like I'm like doing a lot of cons on the movie, but I'm not. I'm doing pros and cons. I need to watch it without 3D. Do not go see this movie in 3D. It's really not worth it unless you want to see. What I remember is like the title card being in 3D. I remember the shotgun sticking out, and mainly the credits with the dust particles and stuff, and the lettering. It's all coming out. My eyes are burning, y'all. Carrie says when the Ghostface twisted the knife in Anika's stomach. Damn, yeah. There was a lot of like stabs and twists and stuff. I kind of like that. I kind of like how it's like a twist to it. It's pretty cool. Gerald Crowder, people were complaining about Chad making it out, but Dewey's been stabbed and beaten for 4 movies, but now it's a problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like Dewey has been stabbed as many times as Chad. Chad, and then had 2 Ghostface on them stabbing him multiple times. Like, this one was like overkill, you know, with Chad. And I felt like nobody could have survived that, not even Dewey. And then what happened to him in 5, where it's just like shank, 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 you know? Like, I mean, look at Officer Hoss from Scream 4. Adam Brody's character. He got Ghostface ran up and stabbed him in the back, and he just kind of like, oh, and then falls over, and then Anthony Anderson gets stabbed in the forehead. Like, you know, Anthony Anderson's dead. Adam Brody has to still be alive. You know, and it was kind of news to me, but apparently he was supposed to, and they were like an original script or something. I don't know how true it is, but he was supposed to be one of the Ghostface. So I don't know how true that is. I'm not saying, you know, oh, I heard this on Destination Station. No, I heard this from a stream. I can't even remember where I heard this from, but apparently that was a thing, and I actually would have liked that, him being a killer. But he definitely could still be alive. It wasn't like a stab like that. Like Dewey's been stabbed in the back a couple times, in the stomach, but not like Chad. That was just kind of like, that's what I'm saying. Like we're not gonna believe anybody's dead. That sounded scary. Said the bodega, the subway, Gail's apartment, and the shrine was the best scenes. Yeah, those were like the big set pieces, pretty much. Carrie says, I love the cat and mouse in the opening with Jason, Ghostface hunting Ghostface. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. I hope we get more stuff like that. Like, that's what I kind of wanted with the ending with Detective Bailey and Sam, was like more cat and mouse. Like, you don't know where he's at or where she's at. You know, now Detective Bailey is you know, being hunted, and I just want it to be just a little bit more, you know. But yeah, agreed. Awesome. Hope you enjoy it, Scott. That's really cool. Blugger said Chad been stabbed more times in 2 movies than all the victims combined in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh man, yeah, a little bit. I just don't get how Chad lived. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I just don't feel like Richie was that significant, you know, like, I don't, you know how like Billy's got this whole believability and motive and all this kind of stuff, like with Richie, it's like he's no Billy, but we're given like you mean to tell me like this is how it's gonna go now? So in Scream 3 or yeah, Scream 7, they're gonna mirror Scream 3. So where are those gonna be kind of like tying in? I think it's gonna be really cool. I think they need to bring back Stu Macher. Wouldn't it be crazy if Stu was like Richie's uncle or something, you know, and that really got Richie into it? I'm the one that got Richie into movies and wanting to be a filmmaker, and I'm the one that, you know, like they could do something like that. You know, I'm the one that started this, and I think that'd be really cool. And I think it'd be really cool to see 2 ghost faces like running at each other, like with their knives up, and like go at it like it's Sam and another ghost face. I can see it happening. I really can. The way Sam was taunting Bailey about Richie was genius. Yeah, it was good. It was. Sydney did a little bit of that to Mrs. Loomis. Same way Dewey did plot armor and the director. Yeah. Like, I thought it was really crazy how Ghostface was doing it to Gail on the phone about Dewey. It made her tear up. I was like, ooh, that's not cool. We're going to get more combinations than ever. Gerald says, the subway scene, I believe, was written for Mindy to die, but I feel it was a last-minute rewrite. I do, too. I absolutely do, too. I was just sitting here thinking that. I was like, hold on, this feels like this should be her death scene, and then they just like, no, let's not do it. And it's like they rewrote it to throw us off that and make us not suspect Ethan for a moment. And then it was just like, oh, yep, it still is. We got another super chat in the house. I don't know how I missed that, Jinsaku. I'm a New Yorker, so that also helped. That's awesome. So yeah, that's so you know the feeling and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of people probably don't really want to get involved in certain crimes on the street, especially when there's a lot of chaos going on. But yeah, I bet you that is super cool. I've always wanted to go to New York. I always wanted to go to New York City. Hopefully I get the opportunity soon. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat, Jinsaku. I really appreciate that. Helps. It helps this channel, to get recognized and everything. So if you're just coming into this chat, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. It helps out the channel a lot. So yeah, absolutely. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I wish I was more energetic for this after party tonight. I've been so tired for the last couple of days. I think I just need some proper sleep. But we're also going to be talking about this all weekend long. So we got to see it again and again and again and discuss. Scott says, truthfully, do you Dewey was having an affair with you? No, I don't think so. I think he was loyal, faithful to Gail. I really do. Let's see. Blogger says, at the end of the day, Dewey's attacks are easier to digest as believable than Chet's. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so how many times that this has happened and how many people have survived? Just bring Dewey back. He survived that, right? You can make it work. You making all this other stuff work. Carrie says, smash that like button. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, that really helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. Gerald says, I feel the happy ending here will be all taken away in 7. With 7 surviving characters was wild, but I still love the movie. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, they built that relationship with all of them, and made it feel like the core 4 and the family is together and they're gonna stick together and it's all happy-go-lucky by the end. But in 7, they need to hurt. They need to make us hurt. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I agree. Blucker says, Dewey got stabbed, 9 or 10 times in 4 films, and Chad got stabbed like 30, 40 times already in 2 films. Yeah, somebody needs to go through and just count. Let me know. So the family of killers was new at least at the same time. Yeah, it was. Like, it's like you just, I feel like that was just them like wrapping up the entire like Richie bloodline thing. Like, we're not going to do his family again. But what if Stu reached out and Richie knew each other? If it could be an uncle, it could be a relative, or it could be just a friend that he met, and that's what got him into movies. They could write that. Gerald says, Killjoy Jake will definitely hate the fact that more characters survived this one. Yeah, I feel it. I agree with Jake. I wanted more people to die. It's maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. Maybe, I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all. I don't know. But I want you to hurt me. Hurt me. Sure. Awesome. Did anybody that scene where Gail gets punched by Tara You know, like Sam swings, Gail saw it coming, misses, and then Tara punches her. Was really cool. But then like the camera pans over to a cameraman. And for a split second, I said, "Oh, it's Joel." Oh no, it's not. I got really excited for a minute. Anybody else get that feeling? Anybody else was like, "Oh, was that Joel?" No, it wasn't. I'm wrong. It was just like we were just like hoping for, or at least I was. Really want Joel back. Cody says, "How is Richie's last name different than Detective Bailey's? If they are his family, wouldn't Richie have their last name too?" I think they explained that their names were changed or something. Yeah. So yeah. It really. I have to rewatch. That's what I'm saying. I have to rewatch it. But I know some names were changed. I gotta hear that Ghostface dialogue again. I gotta understand this just a little bit more. Carrie said it was weird that she was the only one who was killed off screen. Exactly. Whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, oh, red flags come up. 7 survivors seems like way too much. It does. This movie seemingly put to rest the idea of Angelina. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, well, it might still be possible. Who knows? I don't see why Sam's therapist had to die. He didn't do anything. I think that was more like a red herring to Sam. Like, was that Sam coming back and killing him? You know? Yeah, I feel like that. He was definitely just an extra death scene. That's all he was there for. Gerald says, "I honestly feel like Mindy shouldn't have made it out. They basically solidified that him and Tara are the new Gail and Dewey. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Mindy or Chad should have bit the dust. I would have been even okay if Tara would have bit the dust or something, you know. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's like I just want everyone to die. I promise you, I don't. Jinsaku says Chad was fucking Ghostface up at the end. They had no choice but to tag team him. That was really cool. I like the whole teamwork on that. I really did like that. Absolutely. That was really cool. But I like Chad. I like Chad a lot in this movie. Wow, I'm really behind on the chat here. Cool. But we do have a super chat in the house. Super chats go to the front of the line. It's from my very own good friend over at the Bearded Entertainment with a $2 super chat. Therapist had to die to get rid of Sam's alibi. Yep. That was the thing. It was like honestly, I mean, we know that Sam. We kind of assume that Sam didn't kill him, but that's how I was taking it. I was like, oh, Sam's going to be more of a red herring now, you know? So yeah, it was taking away her alibi. Good point, Bearded. Haven't really been able to talk to you yet, buddy, but I hope you really enjoyed the movie. A lot to discuss tonight. Dude, thank you so much for that $2 super chat. Super awesome movie. I did want like an extra scene with the therapist, you know? Just something extra. And then I was thinking, I was like, how in the hell did Ghostface just open the door like that? We didn't even see him like kick it in or anything. It's crazy. This Ghostface is more ballsy, but our filmmakers are not. That's how I felt. Like Hurt Man. But I love the way Ghostface moved and acted in this one. It was really cool. Thank you again, Bearded, for that $2 super chat. Super awesome movie. All right, I might have to skip over some. If I skip over yours, I'm sorry. Trying to get to everybody, trying to catch up here. If I can find out where I was. All right. Tara smacked Gale, yeah. It's good that a Derek-like character survived. I agree with that. It was. He was definitely suspicious. I thought he was gonna die though. I honestly I was like, well, let him die. Like I just wanted more deaths. I really did. I know it's crazy. Blanco says it felt too obvious with Sam's ID showing at the crime scene, and the only person who could have easy access is Quinn, and her dad could easily put it there. Then they have that suspicious interrogation scene. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. So, I mean that's what I just wanted a flashback of Detective Bailey planting that. I really do. So let's see here. Tara smacked together. Yeah, that was really cool. Get it, Tara. I really do like that. Super awesome. Oh, we got another super chat in the house. Bearded Entertainment. Let me know if you need a guest. Haha. Dude, if you want to come on and talk for a little bit, yeah. I don't know how long. I might be only going for maybe another 30 minutes because I've been going on for 2 hours now. But yeah, if you want to come on and give your initial thoughts and everything, yeah, I'm sure everybody else would like that too, right? So yeah, let's get a guest up on here. Thank you again for that $2 super chat, Eric. If you've been messaging me, sorry, I'm charging my phone. My phone was actually dead after I left the movie, so I haven't been looking at my messages. So yeah, let's get Eric up in here, and let's see what he thinks. And let's get a good discussion going before we call it a night, because I know that Eric is going to have a lot to say. So I'm going to let him take it away. How about that? Sound good? Sounds great. Send it to you on Instagram, Bearded, so be checking your messages. And I'm aboard. All right, so while we're waiting for that, let's get back to the chat. All right, where was I? Awesome. Kirsten Marie's in the house. What's up, Kirsten? I know you saw it tonight, you and Larry. You gotta let me know what you think. You might already put it in the chat. I just haven't seen it yet. I see you say you still want a stew mastermind in 7. Yes, me too. Me too. How do you think they would put that in though? How do you think that they would move in that storyline and present Stu being back? I really want to know. Okay, we got somebody knocking at the door. I know he's got a lot to say. Should I leave him waiting? Or should I, All right, I'm not going to leave him waiting. I'm just playing. All right, Eric from the Bearded Entertainment, you got to subscribe to his channel because it's super awesome. If you like Scream content, you'll love his channel. And here we go. What's up, buddy? What's up?
Oh, finally Scream 6 day.
Right? I can't believe it's here. Honestly, I can't believe it's here. I can't wait to see this movie again.
I already saw it twice today.
What? Today?
I saw, I had the 5 o'clock fan event, which is where I got the poster.
Yeah.
And then I saw, and that was in 3D, and then I saw it at 8:45 in 2D. So yeah, I saw it twice, back to back, basically.
I was thinking about doing that actually, and actually today, the only way I could see it was in 3D to see it as early as I did. But then this morning, I see they opened it up on more showings and more times, and I'm like, I should have just waited for that.
Yeah, it was worth it, man. It was great seeing it twice. seeing it twice did bring a couple questions in my head. Like, that doesn't really work. But overall, it was a great movie. And like I said in the chat, not to toot my own horn, but my predictions were like dead on. Other than Mindy. Mindy was the one that threw me off. It would have been a perfect game in my opinion. But I thought she was gonna go.
Okay. I did too. I still think she should have went. I really.
And that's the one thing. In anyone in the chat, I posed this question in the chat as well. I don't know if you saw it. Probably not. It does not make any sense for Ethan to help Mindy.
Yeah, it was more just convenient writing for us as the audience, seeing it makes us bring our guard down a little bit for Ethan.
Yeah, but
that's all it really does.
It actually takes away from the movie because what did Detective Bailey say after Sam said what's next? He's like, we got to go to the hospital and make sure Gail and Mindy don't make it. By Ethan helping, it's convenient writing for us as the audience, but like he's actually making more work for them later. He's making it more likely they're going to get caught because they're going to have to go as Ghostface to the hospital to kill Mindy when he could have just not helped her. And it was very convenient because every other stabbing in the movie was pretty brutal. I mean, it's not the brutality I was expecting wasn't there. I said in the chat a couple times, I was expecting like Olivia level brutality on like every kill.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got that. But it was very rapid, multiple stabs, except for Mindy. Like when they got to Mindy, they're like, okay, we're going to give you one and we're going to hold it. I'm like, why change for that single kill?
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense. It almost felt like they were trying to leave her alive, which doesn't make sense because then they said we got to get to the hospital to make sure they don't make it. And it's like you kind of contradicting themselves a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah. You could say that he's like maybe a little bit more inexperienced or something, you know, like Ethan is from his dad. But I think it would have been
most of the kills.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Ethan was doing most of the kills.
Oh, okay. I have to see it again. I think that I kind of felt like at least the bodega and Gail scene, I felt like that was Detective Bailey.
No, it was they confirmed that Gail's scene was Quinn.
Oh wow. Okay.
Quinn said, because Tara said, Quinn said, didn't see that coming. Tara said, yeah, because you were dead. And she said, not, or she said, like, not so much. It's like, good way to take me off the suspect list. Then I stabbed Gail, then I stabbed Mindy, you know?
Yeah.
So they confirmed it was Quinn in Gail's apartment, and it was still the Billy's mask. So we know that they trade masks. So it only made sense for it to be Ethan in the bodega, because Detective Bailey was going to be showing up, or Sam was going to the station to meet Bailey. So the only person who could have intercepted them on the way was Ethan.
Yeah. I think it would I think that part where Mindy gets stabbed, I think it would have been cool if Ghostface would have pulled up his mask a little bit and it showed it was Ethan. That was his reveal there. So we got like one Ghostface right there instead of all three of them at once at the end. You know, and Mindy die. You know, like he actually takes Mindy out like that.
I think it would have been really cool if essentially everything we got in the bodega scene or in the subway scene exactly like it was, but at the end, Ethan's running to her like he's gonna help her, but then no Ghostface mask whatsoever. He goes up and stabs her in the throat, like kind of covered up so no one else can see it, but we as the audience see it, and immediately we know he's one of them. But we saw someone else in a costume stab her just a second ago, so we know there's someone else. I think that would have been a good way to do it, because at that point Ethan was pretty much confirmed. I mean, like, what did Mindy say? She texts Chad, she's like, yeah, on the train with Ethan, aka Ghostface.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's what they did in 5. You know, like Dewey nailed it as soon as he saw Richie, and that's kind of like what they were doing in this one. I wish that's one thing. I wish it was a little bit unpredictable. Like it was, like it throws everybody off a little bit. But it was like, it's like they were almost like so on the nose, like they were trying to like tell us without telling us. You know, like the writers making it
Man,
very obvious.
I said it a long time ago. And in my final predictions, I did like Monday is either Monday or Tuesday.
Mhm.
I said it for the last time. I think we're gonna get a rehash of Scream 2. Like that's what it's gonna be.
Mhm.
And I think the writers took the script for Scream 2. They pulled the dialogue away. They changed some names, but it's essentially we got Scream 2, and I'm totally cool with it. I love the movie. I'm just the negatives are what like bug me. Like, of course, I loved seeing everything, but overall, I'm like, there's just a few things, like one or two things.
Yeah.
I did find it a little bit predictable.
Yeah.
Quinn's death off, like, off camera. I'm like, come on now, come on. We never see a death off camera that doesn't come back to be truly alive.
Right. Yeah.
The only other death we've had off camera was Roman.
Yeah, I know. But it's like us as the audience, we're too smart for that. You know, it's like, oh, red flag. That's not something's not right about this. So I'm gonna keep this in the back of my mind. So I felt like also like with Quinn's boyfriend or whoever was there, I wanted to see that death take place as well. I wanted to see like a flashback of how she set that whole situation up. You know, I think that would have been really neat to see. Just I felt like that whole apartment, you know, I said it earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were in here or not, but I felt like that whole entire scene right there was a little messy, just the way it was like orchestrated, you know, like I just a little bit. Like I like where we went, I like how we got to where we were going. We were just trying to get to that set piece pretty much, but it was just, I don't know, just the way the characters were acting, and they were all jumbled up, and then they ran into here and ran into there. I was just kind of like, something doesn't, it just didn't feel right to me. It felt like not believable a little bit.
Here's what got me with not believable, and this is nitpicking a little bit, and there's suspension of disbelief, but there's a couple things, two things that really I'm like, there's no way. One, it's Detective Bailey not being known as Richie's father. Like, you transferred to the LAPD or NYPD, cool. They're gonna look into you. You can't be on the NYPD under a fake name. Like, it won't work. So either Richie was using a fake name, which probably wasn't the case, because we saw in his home movies before any of this took place, he credited himself as Richie Kirk.
Yeah.
So, assumedly, Bailey isn't their real last name, but there's no way he's on the NYPD under a fake name.
Right. Exactly.
Not in 2022, which is if what Quinn was saying is real, then it would have been last year that they got to New York. But so if we can trust that timeline, then that would mean they got there 2022. There's no way in 2022 you're transferring to the NYPD under fake credentials.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, no, something's not right here.
And then the second thing that's, in my opinion, even more unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, they were getting DNA results back on these masks within hours, right? Like the mask that was dropped at the bodega, like they had DNA back on it that it was Charlie and Jill's mask. Really, really cool. It was within hours.
Yeah.
But
you can't get the killers.
No. A
Oh.
fake body, or a body that's not really Quinn, left in the apartment, can't be identified as not actually Quinn in 3 days.
I honestly, that's what I was saying. I don't think she stayed there. I think she got up and left out. I think him walking out of that apartment was just him. I mean, obviously it was him acting. It was him faking it. But I don't think she was there. I don't think she lived there.
She wasn't there. You don't remember what he said?
What?
What Detective Bailey said after she it was revealed that she faked her death. He said all I had to do would be first on the scene, switch out the body for a fresh one, some fake blood, a prosthetic. He switched her body. He put another body there, another dead body in her place.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Those are his exact words.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is the most unbelievable part is that crime scene they're getting DNA tests back on these 20-year-old masks to determine that they're, the DNA from 20 years ago within hours. Yet they have this body that was just killed hours ago, and it over a course of 2 to 3 days, they can't determine that it's not actually the person that it's supposed to be. Like, that makes no sense to me. And if anyone can explain it, please do, because I don't believe that.
Yeah. See,
Don't believe it.
It would have been more believable if we would have got like a flashback and he like got to the scene first and he was like, "Hey, baby girl, get up, go." And you hear like the sirens pulling up or something, and they're about to. The rest of the squad's going to make the scene, but he gets her to sneak out. You did your job good, or something. I just, especially in this one, I feel like I really wanted some flashbacks in this one so much, just to kind of like make some things make sense.
Well, see, that wouldn't have worked either if she'd have just left, because Danny, cute boy across the hall, had photos of her being attacked. Remember, because he airdropped it to everyone.
Yeah.
So there's there's digital, or not physical, but there's digital evidence of her getting attacked.
That's true.
And if the police squad shows up there and she's just not there, that's what I'm saying. Her faking her death in this day and age, and I'm gonna say this, and I know someone will jump on it and say, "Oh, but you're so in favor of Stu faking his death." Stu faking his death would be completely different. Her faking her death that way, it would not work. So, and especially like I said, it's over after that, because after Quinn dies, we have I think it's like there's 2 days where the whole the whole investigation, they can't determine that this body they have isn't the person it's supposed to be. Just saying, those are the 2 biggest things.
Did they ever explain where the mom's at?
Where Richie's mom's at?
Yeah.
No, they didn't say anything.
I was thinking that the entire time. I was like, if they go with that with Scream 7 and it's the mom,
Bro, what did you think? Okay, I want your opinion on this, because I've already talked to one other person when I was between showings, and I got their opinion on it. And I'm not going to tell you what their opinion is. I want to know yours. Unsullied. Okay. When Kirby sits down and said, "Oh, it's the TV that killed Stu Macher," Mindy says, "If you believe he's dead." Did you detect any humor in that line?
Did I miss that line or something? Because I remember Kirby saying some people think he's still alive.
No. What happened?
He was talking to Bailey.
No. Stu's never brought up to Bailey.
Oh, okay. I thought
what happened is when so they're at the shrine the first time. Mindy sits down, and then Kirby comes and sits down next to her, and they're facing the TV. And Kirby says, "It's the TV that killed Stu Macher," and Mindy says, "Yeah, if you believe he's dead."
Yeah, that's right. That's how it played out. Okay, see, I need to watch this movie again. I really do. I I don't know, man. Like I've been so tired today, and I was like sitting here and I was watching it in 3Ds, and my eyes were being strained too. So I was like, I feel like I have more distractions than anything.
Okay, yeah, I would highly suggest it in 2D. I saw it in 3D, and honestly, I didn't notice anything. Like, I kept the glasses on. There were certain parts, and I don't know if it's just me or if everyone does it, where I took the 3D glasses and I'm like flipping them up and down, like, oh, do I see any different?
Yeah.
There were a couple parts where you could see like a noticeable difference, but for the most part, there wasn't anything.
It's
crazy,
it's not worth 3D at all. Like the shotgun that popped a little bit, and the other thing that I really saw was the title card and the end credits with the dust particles and stuff. I was like, okay, but that was it.
Here's another thing, and this isn't just Scream, but this is like I don't know. This is something that bugs me. The masks were really good. I love how you could you could tell by the level of like decay which one was oldest and newest. They were great. Anyways, to this point, and this isn't, like I said, this isn't only a Scream thing, but I felt they were very, very guilty of this. When Gail is getting attacked, she gets stabbed, and she keeps fighting. Like, she keeps going, right? And I'm like, good. That's, in my opinion, that's real. Like, they're gonna try to get away. They're gonna do something. But, like, Samara, she gets stabbed, and she just stands there so they can keep going. And then Tony Revolori, when he's getting attacked, he just stands there so they can keep going. And, like, there's nothing holding him there. Like, yeah, he's got his shirt collar, but so what? Move, punch, do something. And and when we get to Chad was the same way. Chad was putting up a hell of a fight. He got stabbed one time and then proceeded to sit there on his knees, perfectly straight up, so that they could just continually stab him. And I'm like, y'all, like, this is not how things work. Like, it almost seemed like obviously it's a writing, but like they're putting up a fight until it's their time. And they're like, okay, now it's my time to sit still so they can do this. And it's like, y'all, that's not, don't give me that. Like, if you're
for like dramatic effect.
Oh, 100%. And I'm just, once again, not to toot my own horn, but I am the freaking Tara hanging off the ledge thing. I called this months ago or weeks ago, however the trailer came out. It was when the first trailer came out, because there was that photo or that frame from the trailer where Tara's looking up and everyone's like,
many videos on it.
Yeah, and Tara's like, oh, everyone's like, oh, she got, that's a little bit, what was the word everyone was using?
That looks like a ghost face.
It was a sinister look. Yeah. Everyone's saying she was giving a sinister look. I'm like, yo, no. And I was like, cool. I think she's giving a look of acceptance. Like, she knows she's got to go. And I even laid it out a few times. Like, I think what's happening is there's a ghost face coming to attack Sam. And if she doesn't let her go, then Sam's going to die and Tara will fall. So, and just going to say it. He's right.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Like I made that theory and then I debunked my theory. So it was pretty quick too, because I saw another TV spot or whatever come out. How did you feel about the reveal of all three killers? Like, what's your opinion on each of them?
I loved how they were revealed. I love that Detective Bailey freaking came in, guns blazing, and he kept up the act all the way till the end. In terms of who they were, I'm not going to say I was surprised. I guessed those two a long time ago. Ethan, It was the freaking plaid theory, y'all. It's real. The plaid theory is real. This is even more evident. Yeah. But I didn't mind them. I thought it was quite predictable. if I'm being honest. But here's what I think makes it even more great, in my opinion. Even though I found it predictable, I still enjoyed it and had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes it even better. If it's predictable, I'm like, okay, this is exactly how I thought it was going to go. That's one thing, but it was predictable. But I'm also like, holy shit, this is amazing. So, yeah, I didn't mind them as killers. They're some of my favorite post reveal. Not necessarily Bailey. I think he kind of went a weird direction with it, in my opinion. But Ethan I loved him after the reveal. And I don't know why, but that one part when Tara falls and he's right there as soon as he falls, and literally as she hits the ground, he stabs her and just so unhinged just yells like, "Gotcha!" I don't know. In that part, I'm like, he is terrifying. Like, Ethan was so unhinged, and I really loved him. And Quinn too. Like, she's probably up there for female Ghostface for me. Like, that look she gives when she walks out of that hallway on that second deck, holding that knife, and she gives that look, and she just turns to the side, and she's like spits out teeth because she just got hit in the face with a brick, and she's not even phased. Mm-hmm. She's like, all right, now we're gonna finish this.
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of the Ghostface in Scream Season 3.
I haven't seen Season 3. It's the only one I didn't watch.
Oh, I'll shut up.
It's fine.
But yeah, I kind of got like I did like Quinn. I did. I felt like some of the line delivery, especially from Detective Bailey, was just kind of like his. Even like even like throughout the movie, I like Dermot Mulroney as an actor. I really do, but like, let's go kill this son of a bitch, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I just felt like, or something like that, like I just felt like he was overdoing it at times, and it was almost like just not believable. It's like I could tell he was acting, the whole entire time. It was like his acting. I could just 100% say, okay, he's acting.
And here's the thing. And by the way, ZZM, I saw your comment about he's lying about getting DNA. I would think that if he was the one delivering it, but we see in the station he's not actually getting it. It's someone else bringing it to him. So that either means he's got more people on the NYPD in on this, or they're actually getting DNA. I don't know why he would lie about that part, especially when Kirby's with the FBI and totally could pull jurisdiction and take over all the case, like the evidence and stuff. I don't think he would lie about that. And the fact that it's someone else delivering it to him, we see that exchange. That's why I think he's actually getting DNA. I don't think they're lying on the DNA. So, but oh crap, I forgot what we were talking about there.
We were talking about the killers and stuff. Detective Bailey.
Okay, so here's another thing I was thinking about. When he calls Sam to set up Kirby, basically, I think it would have been better if we hadn't have seen him call, if we'd have just heard it from her side. Excuse me. Here's why. He was acting it up a lot, like physically getting to the car and everything. But that doesn't make sense because there's no one there. And even if there was there, he couldn't act that way because it's not true, and everyone else in the station would know.
Right.
They would know that Kirby's not really the killer. She is still part of the FBI. Like, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of stuff where people did things that only make sense from the audience point of view, which isn't good writing, in my opinion. Like, I want them to do stuff that makes sense in the movie, and they had to do those things. Here's the thing. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they think this one is better than 2, or and Killjoy Jake. I know I heard someone bring up Killjoy Jake. He actually loved it. Talked to him about it earlier.
Okay.
He actually loved it. He said it's one of the best Scream movies, and he said they did part 2's twist better. Here's why I don't think so. First of all, it's more unbelievable. The fact that he's Richie's dad is more unbelievable because Richie would have been investigated from top to bottom by Gale Weathers. You think Gale Weathers wouldn't have found out who Richie's dad was?
Right. Especially after writing the book and all that. Yeah.
And the whole, I know a lot of people's problem with 2 was like with Debbie Salt. She wasn't really like in the movie that much and everything, but I'm like, it made sense that she wouldn't go near Sydney because Sydney could recognize her. And the fact that they wanted to do that twist but avoid that problem means we get a lot of inconsistencies that don't make sense with Richie.
Right.
Or with Bailey. With Richie's father. Also Richie's sister, Richie's brother, all of them, right? And by the way, they just unseated the Loomises. Now Loomises have 3 killers in the family. They've got 4.
Yeah.
Bailey's have, or Kirsch's, I don't know what their real last name is.
Yeah, that needs to be addressed in the next movie.
I don't think it will be. I think they're done with the Richie story. I think this was ending Richie's story completely. I think it was it followed the blueprint as that Scream 2 followed, and then obviously they added their flavor on there, and it was a tasty flavor indeed, but it was still Scream 2.
Yeah.
And I think the next one they're gonna do a Scream 3, and we know what Scream 3 was. It was all about going back to the beginning, and something you thought was true wasn't true at all.
Yeah.
AKA Schumacher never died.
Right. And do you think, like, speaking of that, I don't know if you were in the chat earlier, but do you think that like they could tie in that like Richie looked up to Stu and like got him into filmmaking and films and stuff like that? That's what I was thinking. I was trying to make it make sense why Stu would be intertwined with Richie and his family and stuff like that. So do you think it'd be...
I don't think they would try to. I think that would overcomplicate it. I think the only way I think they try to tie Stu to Richie is if they tie Stu to like all of them. If they say Stu was kind of present in most of them. But it would be a little bit, I mean, the closest tie we have between the Kirsches / Baileys and Stu was, I don't know if you remember, but Quinn, when she's going on her killing spree, she's like, I've got Stu Macher's mask. He's my favorite. Drell, that's not true. And here's why it's not true. Because Ethan was in the van with Kirby. And Detective Bailey was outside the van with Sam and Tara while Ghostface was calling from the Upper East Side where Gale was. Like, they physically couldn't have been there. It was 100% Quinn. Like, it had to. So, there's no way it could have been Ethan. After that first attack, Ethan doesn't leave, or after the second attack, because the bodega scene happens, then the apartment scene happens. After the apartment scene, the only time Ethan is out of Chad's sight is in the subway. After they lose him in the subway, and after that, he doesn't show up again until he's revealed.
Yeah. I wonder why they did it so much. They just like pointed at Ethan so many times and then still had him as a reveal.
So Radio Silence did an interview it was it was actually an interview for Five. It was a while ago, but they said something about like the formula and stuff like that. And one of the things they said was like, sometimes we just even tell you who the killer is, but you don't believe it. The thing is, I believed them with Ethan.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what it was? You know what I think was a huge giveaway? When you go back and watch it again, pay real close attention. Mindy, when she's given the rule, which I gotta admit I wasn't a fan of that part.
It seemed very forced, didn't it? Just a little bit.
A lot of Mindy's dialogue seemed so forced.
Yeah.
Like, and that's exactly what I was saying about her in part 5. Anyways, when you watch it, when she's talking about, she says something about subverting expectations. She says, if the killers in your last movie were, I forget exactly what she says, but she really insults Richie and Amber. Cause I remember she's like, if they're these kind of people with letterbox accounts versus instead of personalities, then your new killers are going to be the exact opposite. And it's very obvious that she's insulting Richie and Amber. It goes right in on Ethan's face when she says that, and watch his reaction. He hates it. He is pissed when he sees that. Like, watch his reaction. It's something I noticed on the second watching. I'm like, okay, because obviously we know how this works. Once you know who they are, you start what your next watching. You're like looking for clues, looking for things that, like, give them away. And that was a big giveaway for me when she's delivering those rules. His reaction to how she talks about Richie was, she doesn't say Richie, but she very clearly is referring to Richie and Amber.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, man. I'm trying to think. I don't want to only talk about the negatives. I love the movie, by the way. I just want to say I love the movie. I don't think it's going to be above 2 or 3 for me, if I'm being honest. It might be 4th. For me, I think my ranking currently 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4.
So 4 is last for you too.
You know what? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5. 4, and here's the thing. I don't think any of them are bad. That's the worst part about giving a ranking is everyone assumes like, oh, if it's at the bottom, that means you don't like it. No, it just means it's like I like the other ones a little bit more than I like this one, but I still like that one. But yeah, I don't think, and I think we're seeing it too because of initially Rotten Tomatoes, it was at like 83%. Certified.
No, that's critics. Yeah.
And well, that's great too. And then what's happened now that more people are seeing it? I think it's down to like 77. Like I don't think it's bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's now officially dropped below where I think 2 and 3 are. No, 3 is the worst rated one. 2 and 4. I think I need to look them up again, but I think they're all around the like 70s range. But it's starting to, now that more people are seeing it, I think the hype's going to come down a little bit, which I don't want. I want it to keep doing well, and it's gonna do well. I still think it's going to be the highest grossing of the franchise. What's going on, Larry? That's way late. Like that happened way earlier, I think.
Yeah. I'm really behind on the chat right now.
All right, man. Do you have any other questions that maybe I can clear up since I saw it twice?
Oh man, I want to see it twice. I'm going to go see it. I would like to go see it tomorrow, but realistically, I don't think I'm going to be able to see it until Saturday. So, man, okay. So do you think that this is more moving to the possibility of a Ghostface cult with the way the opening started?
I do. And not only the opening, but Detective Bailey had like a throwaway line toward the end that kind of would hint to it too. And he's referring to the opening, but when he's talking about Richie at the very end, he says he was something like an avid collector, and then he goes, he inspired others. That was a direct quote. He inspired others. And then he said, of course, we had to kill whatever their names was at the beginning, Jason and Greg, because we had to kill you first.
Yeah.
But he says, he's like, he was a great collector. He inspired others, and that's a throwaway line, you would think. But if they want to bring in a cult, they could use that as setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
If there was an aspect of the reveal that did make it a little underwhelming, it's the fact that it wasn't a cult. Like, I wanted to see those robes in use.
Yeah.
So, and it really surprised me that Jake liked this movie.
Yeah.
Because it honestly goes against like everything Jake said he wanted for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for a brief history of what Jake wanted for the movie. He wanted a cliffhanger. No cliffhanger. This thing was tied up in a fresh bow, right? He wanted, I think on the Lethal they did last Friday or Monday. I think it was Monday. He said, like there's gonna be pain on this one. Like there's no way it's gonna end with everyone alive and happy. I mean, it kind of ended with every person who was alive from other movies is still alive.
Yeah.
So, like, we had all the survivors. We just switched out Sydney for Kirby.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's the way. Okay, let's talk about Kirby for a minute, and I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream pretty soon because I gotta head off.
I got you, man. Yeah.
I gotta get some rest. But how did you feel about Kirby? Did it feel like Kirby? Did you like it? Did it feel forced? Do you think it felt organic? How do you feel?
I liked her. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like her as much as I liked her in part 4.
Yeah.
I loved, although I think they explained it well when she was talking to Tara about like what happened after she got attacked. Like, I think that was a good way to kind of establish she's not going to be the same person after.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good way to do it, but I didn't find her forced. I love the idea of her being somewhere else. Did you notice how they changed the line though? Like the lines that were in the trailer, she never said, I'm investigating Ghostface attacks. She never said that.
What did she say?
And she said, I'm Special Agent Kirby Reed, FBI from the Atlanta field office. Your 2 Vics were residents of my state before they came, or my city before they came here. I've been investigating their online history for months. She was only looking into Greg and Jason.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she said, and he said, why? He asked her, why have you been looking into their online history? And she said, I have a special interest in Ghostface attack. Obviously because she was attacked, but she never says, I've been investigating Ghostface attack. She also never says, this Ghostface is different. Ghostface, when he's talking to Gale, never says, I'm something different.
That's what I was saying that on the ride home. I was like, did he ever? No, I was walking to the car and I asked my daughter and I was like, did he ever say I'm something different? Because I didn't remember that line.
No, and you know what he did that like Ghostface, as far as I know has never done before, is Ghostface basically talked like they know they're gonna die. Like when she says you're gonna be the one who dies screaming. He says maybe you won't be around to see it. Ghostface has never said that before, right? Like Ghostface has never acknowledged that they could fail, right?
Yeah.
Is that something new to me? Like,
Maybe thinking too much into it a little bit, but yeah, that is a good point though. I don't think he was like doubting himself or something like he might not make it out. I think that like maybe it was just, I don't know. The writers wrote it, so I don't know.
yeah, it's just something it caught me off guard because like, and there were I need to watch it again because I don't remember the entire conversation, but there was like 2 maybe 3 times, 2 maybe 3 times where Ghostface kind of in that similar that way acknowledges that they could fail. Like, and that was so weird for me. But the fact that we didn't get the lines, and maybe, in my opinion, maybe they took them out because they weren't any different. They weren't really any different Ghostfaces. There were 2 Mickeys and 1 Miss Loomis.
Hey, did we see a return? I could have missed it, going to the bathroom or something like that. But did the little voice thing in the mask, him pressing it in Scream 5, did that make a return in this one? I don't remember seeing it.
No, it never did. It was weird too because we had Ghostface talking in the Ghostface voice live to Jason. When he leans down, Jason's no longer on the phone, and he leans down and he asks Jason, "Do you feel like an animal?" And then it's stabbing him, and he's like meat. And then Jason says, "We got to finish the movie," and he says, "Who gives a?" That's all live. Like they're not on the phone anymore, but he's saying so. There has to be something where they can talk. Like,
yeah,
and also
normally, yeah.
When Gale is talking on the phone, Ghostface doesn't have a phone. Right? Like I don't know what was going on, but we never saw Ghostface. So someone else had to. That's where it gets really weird because someone had to be talking to Gale on the phone, but the Ghostface we see in the thing, like with her, never has a phone. Like never has any of that. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's some some discrepancies in there. I saw someone say Ethan was with the group, so he couldn't have been one of the bodega. He was with the group. That's right. He was in the apartment.
That's why I think it was Detective Bailey. He could have done all that and then just showed up on the scene later,
Was Quinn in the group?
I think so. Well, she was in a room.
That's the thing. Quinn leaves. It couldn't have been Detective Bailey, because he was when he called, he was at the crime scene. Like 5 minutes beforehand, he was at the crime scene, and then they leave, and he's already made it there in different, now in Ghostface. For me, maybe there's another killer that got away.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a thought that I had. I like that there wasn't a cliffhanger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot more people survived than what we thought. Here was my thought that I was like, that would kind of resolve a lot of what people might have issues with.
Yeah.
Part 7 picks up minutes after part 6, and maybe Chad doesn't make it to the hospital. Maybe Gale doesn't actually pull through. Maybe Kirby, they're alive at that second. So Chad hasn't made it to the hospital. Gale was still very, very critical. So if they pick this up right after, and if they wanted to make cute guy from across the hall, Danny, into a killer and say he helped out, I mean, we can't disprove that he did help out.
Yeah. Maybe it's Danny and Stu.
I don't know about Danny and Stu, but here's something. When you watch it again, I want to hear your opinion. Pay on top of the rules scene and watching Ethan's reaction. Listen real close during Gail's scene, because you can full on hear a man grunting under that Ghostface mask.
Yeah.
Call it, if it's Quinn. Quinn definitely sounds a little different, because
Yeah.
the only thing that I can think that they'll try to use to throw that off is saying that the voice changer is still activated, so the grunts are actually going through the voice, the voice modulator as well. That's the only thing. But if you listen, it's full on like a man sounding grunt as they're chasing Gale. What did you think about the chasings? For second of all, here, did you?
I actually liked them. I was on the edge of my seat a little bit. I was kind of like, okay, it kind of kept you guessing, but I feel like we saw too much in the trailer as well. Like, as far as okay, yeah, you showed us like a lot of the chase scenes. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it wasn't ballsy enough, like just break our hearts and do something. I just felt like it was just like, it was all hype but no payoff with these scenes. I do like that Ghostface was running around, and I like the whole Gale scene. I like the bodega, them just chasing. I didn't really like how Ghostface popped up out of nowhere on Sam and Tara on the street like that, like out of nowhere, just on, I didn't really like that. I thought that they could have done something creepier and then him start chasing after her, some things just felt like I really wanted something near the end with more cat and mouse between when Sam dons the costume and is after Bailey. Like, I wanted to see more than what we got. Like, her toy with him more than what she did.
Well, I called it in the theater. I was talking. First of all, the fan event was amazing. It was one of the best theater experiences I've ever had, because everyone in there was a massive Scream fan.
Yeah.
And we all loved it. It was great. But we're like, as soon as we sat down, I didn't know anyone around me, never met them before, but immediately, because we were all there like 45 minutes before the movie, we were all chatting it up, talking about the movie, having a great time, like we were old friends, but as people I've never met, probably never see again in my life. But we were talking about it, and little, not conversation during the movie, but if you ever been watching the movie, then like you have a thought, you kind of whisper it out to yourself. As soon as I saw Sam put her hand on that glass case holding Billy's robe, me and the guy right next to me almost simultaneously go, she's gonna wear that costume before the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And I knew it was gonna happen.
I called it when we were gonna see Billy Loomis's reflection. I said that was the scene that I wanted it to happen like that. I didn't want to see him early on. I didn't want to see him used a lot. I wanted it to be at that moment, his reflection in that glass. And it happened. I was like, hell yeah, I was right.
I get what they were going for in this one, but I didn't like the whole Billy thing as much in this one. Like,
yeah, they're trying to.
So with 5, he was clear. It was very clear that this is Billy. You saw a lot of Billy, right? You saw his whole shirt. You saw everything, right?
Yeah.
And then with this one, you only saw like his head and maybe a little bit of his shoulders, and he was kind of see-through. And I was like, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. And I think what they were going for is that he's kind of fading away from her subconscious and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like visually showing that as him fading away, like he doesn't show up. Doesn't show up as much. So But I don't know. Like I said, it didn't work for me as well as it did in 5.
Yeah.
You did call that though, seeing his reflection in the thing. That was a good call.
Yeah. That's how I kind of wanted it to happen. But they're kind of like, I don't know how they're presenting him as like trying to give her the strength, like he's almost a good guy, now or something.
I don't think so. I don't. First of all, I think we need to realize that this is not actually Billy. This is Sam's subconscious.
That's true.
So this isn't actually Billy giving her advice on anything. This is her other half, her subconscious, giving her direction. So they're not doing anything to Billy's legacy. What they are doing is showing that while she still does want to kill, she's reining it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. By the end of the movie, they tied up in a nice, neat little bow. What did you think of that shot, by the way? I know I was questioning what that shot was going to be, the mask laying in the middle of the road with the police lights, everything. Like, I didn't expect it to be that shot at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like it being the ending.
Well, it being like I thought it was going to be a symbol of like times are terrible right now, like kind of depiction of that. Like the police lights are going off because pandemonium has happened, everything's bad, mask is laying in the middle of the road. Yeah. It's actually the opposite of what it was. It's like it's all over now.
Right.
We're all good. Sam has put that side of her to rest completely.
Yeah. Yeah. She put it, but something's gonna provoke her again, and what is that gonna be? And
it's only gonna be something messing with Tara. Like Tara had enough, and Tara didn't even really have to stop her. She's just like Sam, like just all Tara had to do was like snap her out of it, and she stopped, and she wasn't gonna kill him. Tara actually was like, "Hey, go ahead and just finish him off." By the way, I don't know if you saw. I put it in the chat. I counted the second time. 32 stabs to Detective Bailey, if you include the eye stab.
Oh snap!
So that makes 54, unless you count the cheek stab.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look for it. Yeah, that's more than Richie.
Yeah. Because Richie was 22, so that puts her at 54 stabs for those two. Yeah. She also stabbed Ethan like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah. I didn't like how Detective Bailey and Sam go at it, and then they fall off the way they did. I didn't like how that looked, like how they fell off. It
didn't make sense to me at all because
it's like they exploded off.
No, that's not even the part that didn't make sense to me. When right before that, Sam and Bailey or Sam and Quinn were having a face-off.
Yeah.
Sam had a gun. Quinn didn't.
Right.
Quinn goes to run at Sam. She shoots her. Right?
Yeah.
And then obviously Sam goes to shoot Bailey. No ammo. So she starts running at Bailey. He has a gun with ammo. We know because when they collide, his gun goes off. But he also ran at her. Why? Shoot her. She literally just killed your daughter. And she already murdered one of your sons. Why are you going to run at her like it's a freaking jousting tournament instead of shooting her?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like some things just felt like, I don't know, it just didn't feel the best directed when it came to stuff like that. Like, there's great shots, there's great scores, there's great epic feels about things. But certain things like that, it just didn't feel grounded in those kind of moments.
I'm just saying, if these things can happen, if we can justify Bailey sneaking in as a detective to the NYPD with a fake name and him
anything's possible,
switching a body to fake the death of his daughter, and then her disappearing because she's gone. Mm-hmm. So, like, no cameras, anything would have caught her leaving. Like, if we can justify that, you're not telling me that we can't justify Stu faking his death.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's exactly. And you know what? They did do a lot of fan service, and that's what it felt like they were doing. Like, apparently this movie does feel like it's been rewritten, does it not? Like, it feels like there's a lot of rewrites in this.
Two other things. Sorry, two other things that just hit me. Okay, when Ghostface calls Gale, Ghostface says something along the lines of, "I can't believe it's been, we've never spoken on the phone."
Yeah.
How would they know that? Like, the audience knows that, obviously.
Yeah.
How do
fan
these
service? It's a fan service thing because they know that people's been wanting that for years. Yeah.
Like, and it makes sense for the audience. In terms of story, doesn't make sense. The second thing, and this is kind of minor. Gail wrote books. Gail also lied in those books. She lied several times. We know she did.
Yeah.
But here's the second thing, and this is kind of nitpicking. When you go through and see the drawing, there's a drawing of Principal Embry, his death. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, how was he found by the police? Do you remember what they said on the phone about how he was
hung?
found?
Yeah, he was hung by the football goal.
Okay. Hanging off the field goal. The drawing was of him laying on the ground like we saw him at the end of the scene.
Huh? I gotta look for that next time I see it.
How would they know that?
Yeah.
How would they be able to draw that exact scene? Because the police never found him that way. The only people who would know of how he was there would be Billy, and then Billy maybe told Stu. Because they immediately took him down or took him out to the field goal and hung him from the field goal. So there's no way that drawing could exist without someone who was in part one and at that and the only people who could have been at that murder were Billy or Stu.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, that's the only way it could work.
Very good point. I don't know, man. I don't think that they're thinking about it as in depth as we are. I do feel like they did do a lot of rewrites for fan servicey type of stuff whenever Nev didn't come back, which works. I've always said, like, we're fans, service us. It's built the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's build the horror universe here, like, especially Scream's like the perfect property to do something like that. That being said, and we're probably going to wrap up after this, where do you want to see Scream 7 go?
Like I said, I've been talking about a lot of the little nitpicks that I've noticed, but overall, I loved the movie. I'm not in line with the people who say 6 is like the best sequel or second best sequel. I think for me, it may be the third best sequel, fourth best of the franchise. But I love that they took the story from 2 and updated it for a current audience. That's what they did. The meta commentary was on a franchise, but this was a sequel because all the rules she said of the franchise kind of weren't followed at all. Yeah. Gale and Kirby, very safe. All the core 4, very safe.
Yeah.
Like, she said no one was safe. She said it looked worse for Gale and Kirby and Sam and Tara. All 4 of them people made it out. Like, this was not a franchise. This was a sequel.
And you got 3 Ghostface this time around.
Exactly. But that being said, I think 7 is going to follow 3 very closely. Yeah. I think the only difference is I think 7 will probably return. 7 is going to do one of 2 things, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and this is way too early to actually make a prediction, but I'm going to make a prediction. 7's going to be one of 2 things. It's going to go back to 2 killers, one of them being known, one of them being revealed as Stu Macher.
Mm-hmm.
Or 7 is going to be the original plot of Scream 3 with the Ghostface cult being led by Stu from the shadows.
Hmm.
Like how meta would that be? That they make basically a modern retelling of Scream 3, but they use what was supposed to be Scream 3.
That'd be cool. I would like it. Do you want? Okay, that being said, I think they're going to mirror a lot of stuff from Scream 3 too. Do you think that we would go back to Hollywood, or would it be some sort of movie set in general? Like, as far as like, I kept thinking that it would be really cool if they're making another Stab movie, but instead of it being in Hollywood and on a set, they're making it in the hometown of Woodsboro.
That'd be interesting. I don't think they'll make another Stab movie. Did you catch what Tara said to Gail?
Remind me.
When they're talking about the book, Tara said, "I heard you couldn't sell this the movie rights." Talking about her new book. No one wanted to buy the movie rights to her latest book.
Yeah.
So they're not going to use that for Stab, and I don't think they would anyways, because Stab's gone so far off the deep end.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do with this. You know what would be cool, in my opinion, instead of going back to like actual Woodsboro to make the movie, is if we have things going on around the country simultaneously.
That's
like,
interesting.
If
there's Ghostface attacks all over the world. Yeah,
we got Kirby holding it down in the ATL. We could Gale's in New York.
Yeah.
Sydney's somewhere else.
Yeah.
We know we still have Martha, and we still have Martha in Woodsboro. Probably some other people in Woodsboro who, stuff like that. We have like 4 different states covered with characters right now. We could have something going down simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like that. I was thinking that maybe it would also be cool, like, if there are other attacks going on, if Ghostface attacks start happening, like the Core 4 is like, no, we're just going to get away. And they decide to take like a trip to the Bahamas or somewhere tropical on a vacation. They just get out of the US or whatever. They go somewhere, to escape from what's going on. And kind of like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, like some sort of setting like that. Like, I mean, they could do that. But also what I want to see that Scream 3 voice changer make a return.
That would be amazing.
We're going to mirror anything about Scream 3. They need to bring that back.
Yeah, they definitely could. By the way, Carrie, the negativity, like I said, we all know the movie's great. I feel like we're all talking about the greatness, and there's a lot of stuff going on about the greatness. I'm just pointing out the things that didn't make sense. It's the same thing that happens with all the sequels. I've already seen it twice, and these things are like, I'm more at this point trying to understand.
Yeah.
Like the question I asked is like, why, for instance, why does it make sense for Ethan to help Mindy?
Yeah.
Like I was maybe thinking I missed something, like, but then I'm not thinking I am. So at this point, it's a lot of actually trying to understand it, rather than just saying, "Hey, it was terrible. This doesn't make sense." But overall, it's still I'm very positive on the movie. If you had to rank it out of 10, what would you give it?
Me?
Yeah, and you know what? Before you do that, how would you rank Scream 2 out of 10 first?
Scream 2 out of a 10?
Yeah, Scream 2. What would you give it out of 10?
Scream 2, I would give solid 8.
Okay.
I like 8. I mean, I like 2. It's high up there. This 6. Man, that's why I say I got to see it another time, because I feel like I can't judge it yet. But where I'm sitting at right now, I say it's solid. Some things are sloppy to me a little bit, but most of all, I like it. It would be a little bit under 2. So I would
Okay.
say 7. I would say a 7. I
Yeah.
was gonna say a 6 or a 6.5, but it's just kind of like, I'm gonna have to do a re-ranking, man. I'm gonna have to like really think about this, and I really don't feel like I can place it yet until I watch it again. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. I feel like I've been kind of like on that hate train tonight, but it was just kind of like I'm trying to understand a lot of things that kind of don't really make sense, but it is fun. It is a lot of fun to get from point A to point B. It's like a roller coaster. I just wanted them to hit it where it hurt. I wanted them to hurt me. Like like I just felt like with them, all the marketing and everything, and the way that even Ghostface acts in this one, and you got 3 Ghostface, and you didn't kill off any of the core 4 or legacy characters, not even Kirby, not even Gale. Like, somebody's got to go with the opening scene of Scream 7. You got to do a Cotton Weary moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that though. I mean, if they're mirroring 3, it'd be a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
That would suck if they do that with Kirby, because she just came back into the franchise and then they kill her off.
you know what I think they do? I think they maybe do it with Gale.
Yeah. In the hospital?
If they pick up really soon, like really close after part 2, maybe in the hospital. But I don't know. Here's the thing, like with the legacy characters and like what Gale said about Sydney, like she deserves her happy ending.
Yeah.
That was 100% like a fan service line.
Yeah.
But like, I agree that some characters don't need to die, but they need to leave the franchise. I think Sydney after 7 is one of them. I don't think Sydney's done. I don't think Gale's done. They're not done, in my opinion, until after 7. That's going to be the wrap up to this trilogy, and that'll be freaking. I mean, at this point, Gale's the only one that's been in every movie, so that'll be 7 movies for Gale, 6 movies for Sydney. I say at that point, they get their happy ending. They ride off into the sunset. They're never involved again, other than maybe like a cameo appearance in some way that's not. They're not in danger.
Yeah.
But so I don't think they're gonna die in opening credits. I think. I don't know, man. I don't know how they would do an opening credit scene. The Cotton way is definitely a one way to go, but Cotton was an interesting character because like he was never a main character. He was borderline cameo in 2.
Yeah.
Like he was barely on screen in 2. And then in 3, obviously we know how his time on screen in 3 went. He was such an interesting character.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have any other character that would fit that. Right?
Maybe Danny.
Could be Danny. Ooh, damn, now that you say that. Ooh, I don't want it to happen, but you're right.
It feels like it would be a good choice if they were going to do that,
Dude, I loved Danny. I was such a fan of Danny. You know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see Danny inside that shrine with like.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, man, they just kind of sideline him because they want the audience to think that he's the killer and he's just absent. So, but it would be cool if did like Cotton Weary did, shows up, fires off rounds, like what the fuck is going on now? Like kind of like intervenes during a struggle between Ghostface and Sam and Tara. Like he shows up after they done been revealed.
See, here's the thing. You got to have a final girl, unless that's a trope they break and they do like a, Nightmare on Elm Street, and we don't have a final girl, we get a final guy.
Yeah.
If that's a trope they break, good on them. I don't think they'll ever do it though.
Yeah.
But you got to have a final girl, right?
Right.
And because of that, you can't really have a guy save the day. But so here's what I liked about Danny so much. He was always fearless, but he never intervened if Sam didn't want him to.
Yeah.
Like when he saw Ghostface across the way, he didn't bat an eye. He's like, as soon as he saw, he's like, "Hey, bitch, I see you." Like trying to get his attention, and then immediately tried to get Sam's attention. And then he got into the, when they found out about the attacks earlier than that.
Yeah.
He walked up with Sam. As soon as it happened, obviously Chad was like, "Hey, you gotta go." He left. Didn't try to come back. Didn't do anything like that, right?
Yeah.
When they're going to when they're on the subway, that was a good one. When they're on the subway, Sam's kind of in front. The Ghostface is coming toward him, and that's where she was like really worried, like, guys. And he just casually moves up and steps right in front of her. So if Ghostface was going to attack, it's going to be him.
Right.
Just protecting her. But then, as soon as they get to the shrine, Sam's like, "You can't come in. Overall, can't really trust you." And he's like, he kind of at first is like, "You know me." But he's like, "I understand. Be safe."
Yeah.
And and then what does he do? He goes to the cops. He checks on Gail. He checks on Mindy, and he shows up. Like he was so good. He was what Derek would have been had Sydney trusted him.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I think that they just might rip our hearts out. I mean, somebody's got to go in 7.
Somebody's got to go. You're absolutely right. Somebody's got. Well, here's the thing, though. We got to think about it this way. It took 5 movies before they killed Dewey, right? And he's the first of the OG 3. Mm-hmm. This is only the second movie with the core 4. So if we're following the same trajectory, we're looking at maybe part 9 before any of the core 4 will go.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I think it'll happen.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it'll happen before that. I think Tara will probably be one of the first to go, because while she does love it now and she is willing to do it, she is getting really, really popular. And I think part of the reason they're reportedly trying to shoot this year is to get her as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think so too. But think about this. And I'm going to end it here because I got to. It's after midnight now.
Yeah.
I got to get up pretty early, and I've been exhausted all day. I'm wondering if they're going to set up something between Sam and their mom. What if their mom was helping out with Billy Loomis all those years and knew about it? And they do something like that because they don't have a good relationship here. And it would tip Sam over the edge if Tara does get killed. She would go full blown psycho mode, Ghostface. She would give in all the way. That's pretty much what she's living for. What she's fighting for is her protecting her little sister. And seeing the mom and daughter fight over all this, just because I don't know. I just feel like there's something more there that they could evolve. So
yeah, you and Marcus have definitely put that thought forward. And I mean, I've made my I don't think they're gonna do anything with her. I think her entire existence is to set up Sam's existence.
Yeah.
And they could do something like that, but I think that would take a little bit away from the bonding moment that Gail and Sam had when Gail, she said
about the family and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Sam says, my mom cut me off when I told Tara about Billy, and then Tara cut her off when she cut me off. So he's like, we both don't have a mother. So I don't think they're going to try to repair that relationship because of and we already have something going back to Billy with Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So everything goes back to Billy. if you Samantha or not Samantha Carpenter, Christina, is that her name?
Yes, Christina.
If like Christina Carpenter turns out she was helping him. First of all, I feel like Gail would have found that out by now. And secondly, I think it would just be too much tying back to Billy.
Yeah, but if I was gonna write it, I was gonna say something like, it's always about going back to the past and discovering something that wasn't true, that is true, that wasn't, or whatever.
Stu Macher never died.
What if there's a moment? Yeah, maybe that too. Maybe Christina had a thing with Stu and Billy or whatever. I don't know. But wouldn't it be really cool to have a Gale moment, like investigating and going through old footage, like trying to just piece something together wherever these leads are taking her, and she comes across that video camera from Stu's house, and that's where we see Christina, and then that's like a puzzle piece of who the killer is. I don't know. It's something I'm too tired to really like put a lot of thought into it.
What video camera?
That Gale placed in Stu Macher's house in the first film by the TV.
Okay, I mean she would have already had that footage though, because that
Right.
camera wasn't actually it didn't record anything. It just that was a transmit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, like all the feed, and that's why there was the delay, and that's why when it got out of range, it wouldn't have recorded anymore.
Okay. Makes sense. I just thought it would be cool if like there was evidence on that camera that she placed,
I think so too. You know what I think would be great? If you want to bring someone back in, bring in Leslie Macher. We know she exists. What if she reaches out to Gale because, like, say her parents died, right?
Yeah.
And they're getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and they had packed up some of Stu's stuff way back in the day after all this happened, and she calls Gale like, "Hey, I don't know why. It probably maybe money, right? Maybe because we know Leslie Macher is kind of a drunk, right? I think that was established in 5.
Yeah.
Maybe she like, I'll sell you all this stuff or something. They could write it in, right? And then we find something. We get more stuff about Stu. We have a lot of Billy's past. Stu is so unexplored. And it would be great if we found a way to bring Stu back.
Yep. I agree. That's what I really want. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I really want. So
yeah,
that's what Stu needs his legacy. Stu needs his shine.
Yeah, and that was a big part of 5 at the beginning. It was like, everyone forgets about Stu Macher. Like that was a big thing, and then we've continued doing that. Like it was all about Billy, because Billy's Sam's mother or Sam's father. Yeah, and I want Stu to be brought in. I do want him to come in as a character, but like if there was a way to bring in just information or legacy about him, that would be awesome too. Like if there was a way to get. I don't want him to do the same thing. And guess what? Stu also has a secret child.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Yeah. I think that's too much. Just daughter versus daughter type thing by the end. No, I don't want it like that either.
But all right, man. Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. I'm excited to hear what you think after a second viewing. I'm sorry, Carrie, if I was too negative. I'm just, like you said, just talking about the things that stuck in my head, and awesome things do, as well as the nagging things. But yeah, man, we'll have to talk again, and after you've seen it a second time, I'll probably do a live stream here coming up soon.
Okay. Let me know.
Well,
yeah, let me know. I'll try to make some time and do that. Tomorrow night, I'm still debating if I'm going to have my weekly live stream. It all depends on how much rest. I have to have some rest here. I haven't had any, it feels like, this entire week. So I'm about to head to bed. Thank you for coming on here, Bearded. It's always a pleasure. Everybody in the chat, if you're not subscribed to the Bearded Entertainment, do yourself a favor and do it right now. He has great Scream content. If you like my channel at all, or if you like horror movies in general, Bearded's usually on top of it. Bearded deconstructs it.
So close
Yeah.
to 1,000. I'm at like 940 something. Like I'm less.
hell yeah.
I'm less than 70 subs away from 1,000, and I've already got my watch hours.
Nice.
So like, all I'm waiting on is like 60 something subs to get like apply for monetization. Like,
yeah, do it.
Close.
Everybody in this chat, if you're not subbed to Bearded Entertainment, go do it right now. Let's get him to 1,000 subs tonight, and share his channel to all your friends and family and ask them to subscribe. We got to get him over that mark. We got to get it. It's definitely a milestone. And man, you've been working hard lately. I've been watching you, man. You've been putting it out. So
I've been trying.
Yeah.
Anyway, apparently Carrie, I just saw in the comments, Carrie said the negative thing wasn't directed toward me. That's good. I felt like I never want to feel negative, but like I'm always thinking about those things. Like, you gotta make it better. You gotta make it as good as you can, and that's something about being a writer and writing a screenplay, is it can always be better.
Right.
And I think, and obviously they were under a little bit of some extreme conditions, having to rewrite the script once Deb wasn't coming back, but still, everyone gave Radio Silence a pass with Part 5. Like, oh well, they were just making that movie for the fans to like establish themselves. Part 6 is really going to be their movie. And if we just say, oh well, they get a pass because they had to rewrite the script, Part 7, that's going to be their movie, and then something's going to happen with 7, and they're going to give them a pass. No.
Yeah.
They made Part 5, Part 6. Anyways, all right, man. Thanks for having me. I'm going to jump off here too. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night, dude. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. All right. Later, everybody. This is Destination Station. We are heading out. Get you some rest because we got more Scream talk this weekend. Have a good night.